The zoo is supposed to be the most magical place on planet Earth, filled with animals, sunshine, and happiness. But every once in a while, things go horribly wrong. And today, we're checking out just that. Starting with...
Maddox Durkosh. On November 4th, 2012, a 2-year-old called Maddox Durkosh was standing on a viewing deck to see the African...
No, it's such a scary-looking creature.
And many warning signs telling visitors not to lift children onto it. But Maddox's mother wanted him to see better, so she lifted him over the railing.
Why? Why would you do that? There are clear warning signs that says do not do that, because obviously somebody probably did it before, or better yet, the zoo was smart and whoever designed this enclosure thought, hey, maybe some mom or dad is going to try to hold their kid up to get a better look, or like put the kid on their shoulders. That is a terrible idea. Do not do that. So they made warning signs so that somebody doesn't do that. Now, obviously, somebody did it. And we're about to watch why they put the signs up.
In just seconds, he slipped and fell 14 feet down.
Oh, no.
Below the platform, but it was only made to catch small things like sunglasses or phones.
Not babies.
Fell onto the net, bounced off, and then dropped straight into
oh my God.
Of 11 painted ran at him right away. Witnesses said his mother screamed and tried to jump in after him, but other visitors held her back. Everyone saw the attack.
Oh my God.
The dogs attacked while he was conscious.
Oh my God.
He suffered more than 46 wounds to his head and neck, and his inner organs were destroyed.
I didn't need to know that.
Inside the enclosure before
didn't need to know that.
Close enough to reach him. A police officer fired his gun and killed one dog, hoping it would stop the attack, but the other dogs kept going. The tragedy quickly started a big argument. The zoo said the mother had ignored the warnings and acted carelessly, while the family said the zoo was unsafe.
Okay, obviously, guys, I want to side with the mom here, right? Like, this is a terrible scenario, and I don't want to blame the mom for, you know, going against the signs. The zoo should probably have planned maybe for somebody to be dumb and then, you know, do the thing that they said not to do on the signs. However, if there is a sign and it says not to do it, then I'm sure the zoo won't be held accountable, because they could just say, hey, we put up a sign and then she clearly did it anyway. Which is a crazy scenario, obviously, because we're dealing with a young 2-year-old child that got eaten by dogs. Like, that is terrible. That is the worst possible situation. And I do not know how it could get worse.
The railing left children in danger, and that the whole design of the platform was flawed. Both sides took legal action against each other, but in the end, no charges were brought against the mom. The family later made a private settlement with the zoo, and soon after the attack, the viewing platform was removed. As for the painted dogs,
good.
Only the one killed during the rescue attempt died that day. The other dogs were later sent to different zoos. The painted dog exhibit was closed forever, and the space was later turned into a cheetah exhibit. Dawn Brancheau. Dawn Brancheau was an experienced trainer with 15 years of work behind her, and was especially known for her bond with the orcas.
Guys, I think I maybe read about this one, and, well, just brace yourselves, because I know that most people, you know, especially with SeaWorld being so popular, that you might think that the orcas are big, friendly creatures, kind of like water dogs in a way, where they're just so friendly and happy. But a lot of the creatures that are inside of the zoos, especially those that are working with people, they would much rather be out in the big ocean that, you know, contains 80% of the Earth's surface. So a lot of them are depressed, and actually, fun fact, the dorsal fin of a lot of animals in captivity, like orcas or dolphins, a lot of times it like curves like this, because they're depressed and they're not using it naturally like they would in the wild.
Her closest connection was with Tilikum, SeaWorld Orlando's largest whale, who weighed more than 12,000 pounds.
That is pretty big.
Performing in the Dine with Shamu show, where guests sat by the pool eating while watching trainers and whales interact. At the end of the show, Don lay on a shallow ledge right next to Tilikum, rubbing his head as part of the routine. Then, out of nowhere, it grabbed her and pulled her into the water. The grip was fast and incredibly strong. The audience then saw the giant whale drag her under and thrash her around the pool, and SeaWorld staff rushed to help. They threw nets and food into the water to distract Tilikum, and tried guiding it through different pools until it was finally moved into a smaller medical pool where he could be contained. But
guys, the even crazier part is that orca whales, or better known as killer whales, because they are literally some of the most just like purebred killers in the entire population of all of the animals on planet Earth. They are intelligent. They usually also are very communicative with other orca whales, and they're super duper smart when it comes to like hunting and being out in the wild. Like, they work together super duper well. Almost like humans are able to communicate. They have a big network of language that they use to talk to one another. So this whale, it didn't just make a mistake. Like, it wasn't like it was playing for fun. This was definitely the whale basically saying like, hey, I'm not happy. Like, I even though the whale might like this person, Dawn, it's probably not super happy that it's in captivity. So this was probably just an act of frustration for the whale. So like, obviously the whale did a horrible, horrible thing, but at the same time, like, animals in captivity, especially ones that do shows with people, it's very, very tough in my mind for like that to make sense, because a lot of times animals are still animals and they are very, very unpredictable, even if they're trained, especially a giant 12,000 pound whale. Like, that thing is something that I personally would never trust.
For a whole 45 minutes, he would not let Dawn go. Trainers and guests could only watch helplessly as she drowned. When her body was finally recovered, the autopsy showed just how violent the attack had been. Drowning was the official cause of death. Her injuries were horrific. Her spinal cord was severed. Her jaw, ribs, and bones in her neck were broken. Her scalp had been completely torn off. Her left arm ripped away, and her left knee dislocated.
Wow.
The report showed she had not only drowned, she had also suffered massive trauma from the sheer power of the orca's movements. Her death led to trainers being banned from swimming with the whales during shows.
That's good. Good. Obviously, that's a horrible situation, but it led to something good, which is what I was trying to say, is that like, people should not probably be with giant creatures, especially giant creatures that are underwater creatures, right? Sea creatures are a whole different animal. They could drag you underwater and there's nothing you could do about it.
Simon's death came only a few days after she started what she thought was her dream job. In April 1996, the 24-year-old wildlife biologist had just been hired to care for the wolves at Halliburton Forest and Wildlife Reserve. The reserve was known for keeping its wolves as wild as possible, which is why visitors could only see the pack through one-way glass, and staff were warned that people should never try to make contact with the animals. Only a few days
they're
later,
wild
Patricia
dogs.
entered the wolves' 15-acre enclosure alone.
Why?
Normally, the wolves were shy and stayed away from humans.
Why'd you do that?
Day, something was different. When she stepped inside, the wolves stood up and began moving toward her. Witnesses later reported that they circled her, slowly surrounding her inside their territory. Patricia must have realized she was in danger, but before she could escape, she tripped over a fallen tree. That mistake sealed her
just like a horror movie.
The alpha male rushed at her first, knocking her to the ground, and the rest of the pack followed. They bit into her arms and legs, tearing through skin and muscle, and pulled her in different directions. She tried to fight back, but the pack was too strong. Each wolf weighed as much as 176 pounds.
That is huge, guys. I don't know if you understand. I am 176 pounds, and I am nowhere near as strong as a wolf. Most dogs are like, what, like 50 pounds, maybe 60 pounds, and like, that is a pretty big dog. This is triple that size, guys. Like, you don't understand until you see a wolf in person just how big they can get. And I know that in some zoos as well, like the trainers or the people that work at the zookeepers will feed the animals, and a lot of times the animals recognize that, and they'll almost not necessarily get domesticated like a dog or a cat would be, but they'll be like tamed a little bit, and they'll be friendlier towards the zookeeper that feeds them every single day. You can develop a bond there. But these wolves were kept 100% wild, which means that they probably did not recognize Patricia as somebody that feeds them, because they probably are just in a big sanctuary and they get most of their food themselves. So they just saw Patricia probably as a threat that was infiltrating their home. And obviously, whenever a wild animal feels threatened, it will attack. So that's exactly what happened, unfortunately.
Patricia lost blood quickly and grew weaker as the wolves mauled her. She tried to protect her head and neck, but it wasn't enough. Within minutes, she died inside the enclosure.
Does anybody survive today?
When police arrived, the wolves were still guarding her, even though they hadn't yet eaten her. When officers tried to approach, the wolves circled them too, growling and moving closer, until gunshots were fired into the air to scare them away. Experts later said that the wolves' behavior had shifted suddenly and unpredictably, especially in the alpha male. No one knows why Patricia entered the enclosure that day when
That's so weird.
But once she was inside, She had no way to escape.
So before we keep going with the video, I need to tell you guys about my brand new cookie plushies. They're super cute, squishy, and probably the softest plushie ever created. They're so soft. I love them. We have the OG chocolate chip cookie, the sprinkle cookie, and my personal favorite, the zombie cookie. If you guys are watching on a TV, grab your phone or your mom's phone or your grandmom's phone and scan this QR code right here. Go ahead, I'll wait. Or you guys could head right on over to BeckBroJack.co. Okay, you guys got it? Let's get back to the video.
Rosa King. On what seemed a normal morning, Rosa King, a 33-year-old zookeeper at Hamerton Zoo Park, was cleaning the windows inside the tiger paddock before the zoo opened to visitors, which was just a routine part of her work. The enclosure housed Sisip, a fully grown male Malayan tiger. Safety rules required that a heavy vertical slide and 2 gates be closed to keep the tiger locked away whenever a keeper went inside. But
that's
that morning,
smart.
When Rosa stepped in, all 3 barriers had been left open.
Why?
This meant Sisip had
Who did that?
access to the paddock.
Who the heck did that?
Sisip mauled her with extreme force.
Oh,
its jaws
jeez.
clamped down on her neck with enough
oh my
force to
God.
break through the bones of her spine, and her spinal cord was completely severed in the neck area, a devastating injury that left her instantly paralyzed and unable to fight back. The bite crushed soft tissue and broke bone, while the tiger's teeth sank deep into her throat. Her arms were ripped open with deep gouges, and her right leg was badly torn by both bites and swipes. Across her body, there were many cuts and scratches, signs of repeated mauling. These wounds would have caused her to lose a huge amount of blood within only moments. A visitor looking through the viewing area was the first to notice Rosa's body.
Are you? Oh my God, dude! Imagine that you guys are that visitor. Like you're like, oh la di da di da, this is gonna be a great day at the zoo. You're like, oh, let's go check out the cool Malaysian tiger exhibit, and then you see that, bro. That is crazy. I don't know. Obviously, there's gonna be some sort of explanation or investigation of what went wrong. Who left open the 3 gates, guys? Not 1, not 2, 3 separate gates that should have locked away that ginormous tiger were just left open. Somebody should be in prison for that.
And raised the alarm. The investigation confirmed that there had been no mechanical failure with the gates or slides. Rosa had entered without realizing the barriers were open, leaving her exposed to the tiger. The zoo's safety depended entirely on keepers following the procedure correctly.
They didn't.
Alexis Martinez. On December 24th...
Wait, hold up. For that last one, so like, did anybody get held accountable there? Was it Rosa that left it open? Because if it wasn't, somebody else did. And that's why Rosa is dead, all right? I want to point that out there. I don't know if anybody went to prison, but they should have if they left it open.
2009, trainer Alexis Martinez was working with a huge orca that weighed more than 6,600
Here we go
pounds
with the killer whales.
Turned on him. At first, the session seemed normal, even though reports said Keto wasn't responding well to the signals it had been trained to follow. Then, as Alexis swam toward the shallow platform, Keto suddenly leaned toward him, pushed him under the water with his rostrum, the front of the whale's head, and rammed him hard in the chest. Trainers standing at the side tried everything to get Keto to stop. They slapped the water, gave hand signals, and even shook a food bucket, but the orca ignored all commands.
That has to be like one of the most scary experiences ever. Like obviously for the guy, Alexis down there, Alexis Martinez, but for the actual trainers that are just up on the surface, like just you can't do anything, right? It's not like you have a dart gun to shoot the whale because it's underwater, right? So there's really nothing that you can do other than watch, right? Like they're trying to slap the water, they're trying to offer the orca whale some food just to distract it, but it's not like there's some sort of way that they could stop the attack from happening. So that has to be extremely terrifying.
It came up briefly for air, then went straight back to Alexis. Witnesses said it lifted Alexis out of the water on his rostrum and held him with his mouth shut. When Keto finally let him go, Alexis's body sank to the bottom of the pool, motionless. Rescuers tried to move Keto into another tank so they could reach Alexis, but the orca resisted. It played with the gates and refused to cooperate, delaying the rescue. Staff could only recover Alexis after they used a net to redirect the whale. The autopsy revealed how violent the attack had been. Alexis died from massive internal bleeding caused by the crushing force. His chest was broken with many compression fractures, and his organs were torn apart. Gian Rankarasamy. On the morning of September 10th, 2025, 58-year-old
what?
zookeeper Gian Rankarasamy,
That was like last month.
Lions and tigers for almost 20 years, stepped out of his vehicle inside the lion enclosure during feeding time, while tourists remained inside. Allegedly,
Oh,
according to
God.
the safety rules, no one is ever allowed to leave the vehicle in predator areas. But
He
that
got
morning,
too comfortable.
Gian did. He left the vehicle door open and stood beside it while the lions were being fed. One lion crept up behind him and suddenly pounced, knocking him to the ground. Within seconds, the rest of the pride joined in. Tourists
Oh my God.
sitting inside their cars watched in horror as the lions mauled Gian, biting and clawing.
Oh
him while he
my
lay helpless on the
God.
ground. Some honked their horns frantically to try to scare the animals away, but
Whoever honked the horn, you're a G, right? Because like I would not, I don't know what I would do in that situation, right? Like you would think that you would be the hero and like you would try to help out and honk, but also at the same time, guys, like if these lionesses turn on you, there's nothing that you could do. Like if it is a 1v1, you versus a lioness, you're done. You're done. So zip, zop, ba-da, ba-doop, you're done. It's over unless you have some sort of like AK-47 or like a grenade. You're done. You cannot, these things right here, they're not going to save you. All right. You could headbutt it. It's not going to matter, guys. So like these people, shout out these people for trying.
the lions ignored the noise. The
Oh
attack
my
lasted
God.
Nearly 15 minutes before help arrived. When they finally reached the
Dang.
scene and pulled Gian's body out, the injury was catastrophic. His chest
Yeah.
had been ripped open, his neck
Oh.
and one leg were broken, and his body
Oh.
was covered with deep bite and claw wounds. He was rushed to Intrarat Hospital, but doctors could only declare him dead. Police and wildlife
Oh my God.
a full investigation to find out why Gian left the vehicle. Some believe it may have been a mistake or distraction, while his family insists he never broke safety rules without a reason. His
That is
wife
so
said he
weird.
always followed the guidelines and cared for the animals like family.
Well, that does make sense because he did this job for 20 years. So you would think that over the course of 20 years, he probably, I don't know, he maybe had a relationship with the lions since he would see them probably most days. Like he would feed them as well. And he survived for 20 years doing a pretty dangerous job. So I really do wonder, why would he break the rules? Did he get too comfortable? I don't know.
His brother explained that Gian was only a few months away from retirement. Norden
Wow.
Bin Montong. On
That's
the
so
afternoon
sad.
of November 13th, 2008, 32-year-old Norden Bin Montong, a Malaysian cleaner at Singapore Zoo, climbed over the barrier and jumped into the white tiger.
Why?
enclosure. People
Why?
watching said he was carrying a broom and a yellow bucket, shouting as he walked. At
But-
first,
but why?
visitors thought it was part of a show and saw 3 white tigers coming toward him slowly. One
what are you
moved
doing?
closer, then suddenly hit him, knocking him to his knees.
What?
Norden tried to protect himself, even lifting the bucket over his head like a shield, but it was no use. A second tiger joined in, and both began biting at him. Onlookers screamed for him to get back into the nearby water, but his sudden movements only made the tigers attack harder. One tiger bit into his neck and pushed him to the ground. Another grabbed his body and dragged him further inside the paddock. People threw things and shouted, but the attack went on for nearly 2 minutes. The tigers bit him again and again on the head, chest, and body. Doctors counted more than 90 wounds. His ribs and skull were broken, and the bites to his neck were so bad that he had no chance of surviving. Keepers ran to the scene and used long poles, banging them on the ground to scare the tigers away. After several tries, they managed to distract the animals long enough to pull Norden's body out. Veterinarians tried first aid while waiting for paramedics, but it was too late. He was pronounced dead shortly
Why
after.
did he do that?
Investigators later said that Norden had entered the enclosure on purpose, and his death was treated as a suicide.
Guys, I don't think I'm ever stepping foot in a zoo ever again. And if that wasn't bad enough, and you thought you were safe at home gaming, well, think again. Today, we'll be checking out the worst gamer deaths of all time. All right, let's get serious now, guys.
On
All right,
August
StarCraft.
5th, 2005, 28-year-old Lee Sung-seop entered
That's
an internet
almost
cafe
my
in
age.
Daegu. He ordered a soda, logged into StarCraft, and began playing. Hours turned into days. Witnesses said he
Days?
rarely moved from his chair, taking only short breaks to the toilet. By the second night, he had been at the keyboard for nearly 50 hours.
Okay, guys, bro is an alpha beta gamer. Like, if you are legit, like, there just, like, playing video games for that many hours straight, especially, like, not even in his own house. He went to an internet cafe, which is basically where, like, it's a nice way to say, I'm gonna go to this place where all you do is play video games. They're actually pretty epic. I don't know if you guys have ever been to one. They're not as popular nowadays, but they're pretty epic, and they're pretty popular in, like, Japan and other Asian countries. But anyway, if you're playing video games for that many hours straight, especially not at your house, but even if you did that at your house, bro, and like you're not a top streamer, maybe take a break. Like, especially if you're sitting down for that long, your legs could actually like clot, which means that, you know, you could potentially lose your legs, or you could have some other health issues if you're just sitting that long. And also too, if he's been awake for 50 hours straight, he could be having some like severe insomnia or something where you're not supposed to stay awake for that long. So your brain starts to do whack stuff. So, I mean, I'm sure it's a combination of all of those things that we're about to hear that probably killed this man. But go outside, touch grass, eat vegetables. Maybe not that last part, but everything else you guys should totally do.
His posture sagged, his eyes bloodshot, but he kept clicking. The cafe manager urged him to stop, but Lee shook his head and loaded another match.
Are you serious?
On the third day, he suddenly collapsed. Paramedics arrived quickly, but he was unresponsive. At the hospital, doctors confirmed cardiac arrest brought on by exhaustion, dehydration, and blood clotting from immobility.
See, did I not say all of those things would probably happen, guys? That is why I am an epic gamer, but I'm a smart gamer. I know that if you're playing video games for too many hours straight, you could actually die, and you're not going to respawn.
Pronounced dead shortly after arrival. The Pokemon.
That is very sad.
On July 9th, 2017,
in
Iloilo City, Philippines, a 12-year-old boy was playing Pokemon Go with friends. They wandered near a construction site while searching for digital creatures. The boy, holding his phone, climbed onto a metal structure close to the power lines. Witnesses said he lost his balance and
what are we doing?
His hand made contact with a live electrical cable.
Oh my god!
And he collapsed instantly.
Pikachu, use Thunderbolt!
Bystanders rushed over. Emergency responders arrived quickly, but the boy showed no signs of life. He was pronounced dead from electrocution.
That's crazy, guys. I don't know if you guys went through a Pokemon Go phase like everybody else did, but I was one of those kids that would, you know, take Pokemon Go to the next level, where I would travel long distances. Anytime I was on vacation, I was playing Pokemon Go. I was catching all sorts of different Pokemon anytime that I could, but I didn't think like, oh, let me climb this electrical pole to get higher up, because it doesn't matter in Pokemon Go. Like, your elevation doesn't matter in the game. It just matters like how you travel around. So I don't know why they would have climbed the electric pole. It just doesn't really make any sense. But he was doing it for Pokemon. Maybe he thought like if you went up higher, you would be able to catch some flying type Pokemon or a Zapdos or something. And yeah, it did not go well. It did not go well, as you guys know, and that is extremely sad. And it was all due to Pokemon Go.
Authorities confirmed that he had been distracted by the game, which led him into a dangerous area. The accident was
distracted up a pole
and cited as part of a series of Pokemon Go-related fatalities worldwide, where players, focused on the screen, entered dangerous environments.
Okay, that I can believe, right? Because I've seen friends play the game, especially back when it was like crazy popular in 2017. They would just walk around. Like, I was guilty of this too, guys. I'll put my hands up, but like, I basically was walking around like this. My phone was like 2 inches away from my face, walking around trying to find like, oh, cool, there's a Pokemon. Let me make sure that I get my swirl down, and then boom, and then snipe the Pokemon with my Ultra Balls. But you would kind of lose track of the world around you because you would be so into your Pokemon game. So I can see why that would happen, and like people probably have walked into traffic, or like, I don't understand how you climb a telephone pole though, right? I'm trying to wrap my head around that. How do you get distracted, right? And then you climb a telephone pole. That doesn't make any sense, right?
The Minecraft incident.
No.
On July 19th,
no, not Minecraft.
A 17-year-old boy entered an internet cafe in Pampanga, Philippines.
Okay, another one of these?
And began what became a marathon session. Witnesses said he played for almost 3 straight days, taking only brief naps at the desk.
Okay, what? Okay, guys, so I have some friends that, you know, they make the 100-day hardcore Minecraft series where they'll play Minecraft for, you know, like 10 hours a day or 12 hours a day, which is a lot. That's a lot of time to just be playing video games, right? Sometimes they'll play even longer, but they still sleep. Like, even the people that are extreme Minecrafters, they'll still sleep like a normal human being because you need sleep. But the fact that this guy stayed awake for 3 days straight, I mean, it's going to be the same situation as the first guy that played StarCraft for like 50 hours straight. yeah, your legs start to give out. They start to blood clot. Your brain starts to get all mushy because you've been awake for so long, and you go into like psychosis or whatever that's called. But bro, I gotta admit, part of me is like, wow, this guy was dedicated. He was dedicated to his Minecraft world. He was placing blocks. He probably beat the Ender Dragon like, I don't know, 67 times. Playing Minecraft for that long, he probably had everything in the game, and I would like to see that world, is what I'm trying to say. Like, that world is probably goated.
Staff grew concerned when they noticed he had not eaten properly and had barely moved from his chair. On the third day, as he leaned forward to type, his body went limp. He collapsed onto the keyboard and did not get up again. Friends called for help, and staff attempted first aid. Paramedics
he was playing hardcore Minecraft.
Found him dead at the scene. Local
That's
doctors
so sad.
later cited cardiac failure linked to severe exhaustion and dehydration after continuous gaming. The Call of Duty swatting. On December 28, 2017, two Call of Duty players in the United States got into an online argument over a $1.50 wagered match.
$1.50.
Asked another, Tyler Barris, to swat his opponent by calling police to his address.
Are you kidding me?
911 in Los Angeles and reported a fake hostage situation.
No.
In Kansas. The address he gave was not his rival's, but belonged to 28-year-old Andrew Finch.
Guys, never, ever, ever do this. I know that it might seem funny, and you maybe have seen like some fun clips of people calling the cops about like fake threats or whatever. Do not do this. It is like the worst possible thing that you can do, because the police are going to go there and they're going to act as if there's actually a problem. And police, when there's a hostage situation, or if you say like, hey, there's an armed person inside and you're just completely making it up, the police are going to be on high alert, right? Like, you guys are smart enough to know that you don't do that, because it's not a good idea. And obviously, bad things can happen and people could get hurt. And this guy literally, he didn't do anything. This is just an innocent bystander in all of this. And it's just so sad.
Who had no connection to the dispute. Police
That's
surrounded
crazy.
his home. When he opened the door, officers ordered him to raise his hands.
Oh,
Confused,
God.
He moved slightly, and an officer fired a single shot. Finch was killed instantly in front of his family.
That's terrible.
Shocked the gaming world. Barris was later sentenced to 20 years in prison, while Viner received a shorter sentence. The Wii Fit incident. It's
kind of crazy that you can end up in prison just from like a video game dispute like that. Yeah, crazy. Don't do that. Don't call the cops unless there's an actual threat.
On December 28th, 2009, 25-year-old Tim Eves from Sittingbourne, Kent, received a Nintendo Wii Fit as a Christmas present. Excited to try it, he began using the console's fitness programs on Boxing Day. Family
cool. Doing yoga.
Reported that he exercised intensely for several hours with the balance board and aerobic mini games. That evening, after finishing a workout, he complained of chest pains and shortness of breath.
No.
His mother urged him to rest.
Did he have a heart attack?
He collapsed in the living room.
Dang,
Paramedics were called immediately. Despite resuscitation attempts, he was declared dead at the scene.
I know that everybody in today's video has died from like something video game related, but there's part of me that just like, I'm thinking like, oh, maybe there's a chance that they'll survive or maybe they'll get resuscitated. But I gotta remind myself that no, everybody today played video games and they died and they did not respawn. So sad.
An inquest found that Tim had suffered a sudden cardiac arrhythmia. Though rare, doctors noted that strenuous physical activity can sometimes trigger fatal heart irregularities in young adults. The case was widely reported in the UK as the first known death linked to Wii Fit activity.
Yeah, I've never heard of Wii Fit being bad like that.
On February 26th, 2010, in Chongqing, China, two men in their 20s sat in an internet cafe playing Counter-Strike.
Another internet cafe, guys.
Strategy and insults in the game.
You're worse than bots, bro. I like to swear. Your spray is pure lottery. You are crossing your line now. So what, you NPC?
Staff intervened and briefly separated them, but the fight continued outside the cafe. The aggressor grabbed a knife and stabbed his opponent multiple times in the chest and abdomen.
Over a video game! I mean, bro, don't get me wrong. I get heated over video games, right? Especially like Rocket League, Clash Royale, League of Legends. I'll admit it. I get pretty angry whenever I lose. However, not once in my entire life has it crossed my mind, oh, I'm gonna swat my opponent or I'm gonna stab them. No, it's a video game, guys. Just like any other game in life, it might suck to lose, but that's all a part of playing the game. You're not gonna win every single time, unless you're LeBron James. And even Even LeBron James, he loses too, guys. So it's like you can't get that mad over a video game like that. Not like this. This is insanity.
Called for help, but the victim collapsed on the pavement before paramedics arrived. He was pronounced dead at the scene. Police quickly arrested the attacker, who admitted to losing his temper during the argument. The killing was widely reported in the media. It's another example of internet cafe disputes turning deadly. Local authorities used the case to highlight the growing problem of violence connected to online gaming in public spaces.
Okay, guys, I gotta jump in here because I've looked into this quite a bit, and violence in video games really does not translate to violence in real life. Most people, do not do that. Most people do not go and they stab somebody over a dispute. Those people are clinically insane, and they're making a bad name for us gamers. So don't do that.
The GTA incident. On August 3rd, 2008, in Bangkok, Thailand, 18-year-old high school student Paul Watchino hailed a taxi late at night. When they reached his destination, instead of paying, he pulled a knife and attacked
Are you kidding me?
the 4-year-old driver.
Are you serious?
Multiple times before dragging the body from the car and attempting to drive away. Witnesses quickly alerted police, who intercepted him only minutes later.
Are you crazy?
He had been playing Grand Theft Auto and wanted to know what it felt like to hijack a car in real life.
Okay, that is not a normal thought. Bro, have you guys ever thought that? Okay, maybe I'll be honest. Maybe I've thought hey, it would be a fun experiment. Let's see, could I steal somebody's car? But then my rational brain comes back to me, and it's no, that is a stupid idea. Do not do that. That is illegal. Also, why would I hurt somebody else for literally nothing? So, what are we doing? What are we doing, guys?
Investigators said he showed no signs of intoxication or mental illness, only fixation on the game.
He's crazy. He's got to be crazy.
He was convicted and sentenced to life imprisonment. Thai authorities responded by temporarily pulling copies of Grand Theft Auto 4 from store shelves.
Actually?
The killing as evidence of dangerous influence.
Wow, that's kind of crazy.
International coverage and became one of the first game-inspired homicides. The VR incident. On December 21st, 2017, a 44-year-old man in Moscow, Russia, was at home using a virtual reality headset. He moved to his apartment while immersed in the game, unaware of obstacles around him.
Oh no, did he fall out the window?
He stumbled while playing and crashed directly into a glass table.
No.
Shattered the surface, slicing deep into his body. Alone in the apartment, he was unable to call for help.
I just need to take a second because that is the worst thing ever. All of the other deaths, they either involve somebody else or it was somebody that decided, hey, I'm going to try to break the world record for staying awake for the longest, of all time. And this man just decided to put on VR goggles. Bro, literally, just imagine giant VR goggles, and he was walking around. He was probably playing Gorilla Tag, having an absolute blast. And then he went to go tag somebody, fell into his table, and that was it. That is insanely unbelievable. I don't understand. The only time when I've seen a VR accident happen kind of similar was when I gave my mom the VR headset. This is years and years ago. And I put her on Richie's Plank Experience. If you guys have ever played that, let me know in the comments. But basically, you're high up on a skyscraper in VR and you walk out on a plank. She has terrible fear of heights. So when she got to the top, she was extremely scared. And then she kind of looked over the edge with the VR goggles on. And then my brother kind of tapped her, pushed her a little bit. And then she thought she was actually falling and she leapt forward and went headfirst into the TV, which was really funny. But I can see how VR accidents could happen like this. It sounds like this dude was just, unfortunately, just at the wrong place at the wrong time with the wrong glass table.
Neighbors reported hearing a loud crash, but did not enter. Hours later, family members found him lying in the living room surrounded by broken glass.
That's terrible.
Severe wounds to his head and neck. Moscow authorities confirmed the accident, noting that it was one of the first recorded cases of a fatality linked directly to the use of a VR headset. The unusual circumstances attracted international attention, with headlines highlighting the hidden dangers of playing immersive games in unsafe environments.
I never heard of this.
Warcraft incident. On February 1st, 2007, a 26-year-old man walked into an internet cafe in Guangzhou, China.
Half of these start out 25-year-old dude walks into internet cafe, and then they die.
He sat down, opened World of Warcraft and began to play.
He probably played for too long.
He barely spoke, only pausing for instant noodles or brief toilet breaks.
That's
Day
not
one
good.
Passed, then day 2. He remained in the same seat, eyes fixed on the screen, fingers steady on the mouse. By the 3rd day, his movement slowed. At 10 a.m., he suddenly slumped forward onto the desk. Other customers thought he had fallen asleep. After several minutes without motion, staff went to check. They shook his shoulder, but he was limp. An ambulance was called. When paramedics arrived, he showed no pulse. Doctors at the nearest hospital declared him dead, citing cardiac arrest linked to extreme exhaustion and dehydration after 3 days of continuous gaming.
Hold up, ladies and gentlemen. Did you guys get your cookie plushie yet? Because if you guys didn't check them out yet, make sure you guys scan this QR code right here. Or you guys can head over to BeckBroJack.co. You guys are definitely going to want to go quick because my brother Dirt Boy already bought 300 of them from the last time that I saw you. So if you guys want one, you should go get one. Back to the video.
The Halo incident.
I have no words.
2007 in Wellington, Ohio, 16-year-old Daniel Petrick argued with his parents after they confiscated his copy of Halo 3.
Oh, no.
Believing he had become dangerously addicted.
You can't take away Halo 3.
Daniel discovered where the key was hidden and retrieved both the game and his father's pistol. When his parents returned, he confronted them in the living room. He asked them to close their eyes, saying he had a surprise. Instead, he raised the pistol and fired. His mother, Susan, was killed instantly. His father, Mark, was shot in the head, but survived. Daniel attempted to frame his father by placing the gun in his hand. Paramedics arrived quickly and saved him. Daniel was arrested and later sentenced to 23 years to life in prison. The case shocked the United States, raising questions about violent video games and teenage obsession.
I mean, once again, guys, I gotta just say that this is not normal behavior. Like, most kids don't do this. Most kids don't, like, grab a gun because mom and dad didn't let me play Halo 3. That is crazy. That is absolute pure insanity. I just got to point it out. Like, that is not normal behavior. But the parents really should not take away Halo 3, bro. That was a great game. Goated game.
The Pokemon Cliff. On September 7th,
oh, 2016, no, not Pokemon Go again.
Fukushima Prefecture, Japan, were playing Pokemon Go along a coastal path. The mobile game, which used GPS and augmented reality, became a global sensation only weeks earlier. Players often followed the app into unfamiliar areas while chasing virtual creatures. That afternoon, the men, aged 21 and 22, walked together while staring at their phones. The trail
this is what I was talking about.
Overlooking the sea. Focused on the screen, they failed to notice the edge.
How?
Both fell from a height of more than 65 feet. Emergency responders were called immediately.
Guys, I mean, I hate to say it, but is this a form of natural selection? Like, that, I know it's terrible to say that, like, people, you know, but, like, seriously, if you are so focused on a game like that and you're walking around, I don't know, man. That is crazy to me that you could be so into your phone that you walk off a cliff with a friend. It's not even like it was just one of them being dumb. They both walked off a cliff together. That is unbelievable, actually. Like, what?
Immediately by nearby witnesses. One of the men was found alive, but badly
injured. My goodness.
The other was discovered at the base of the cliff.
Oh, man.
He was declared dead at the hospital a short time later. Japanese authorities urged players to pay more attention to their surroundings, and the case received wide coverage in national and international media. The League of Legends incident.
Oh, no, I play League of Legends.
2012, a 23-year-old man entered an internet cafe in Wuhan, China.
Here we go. Internet cafe.
League of Legends and began to play. Staff said he had been a regular customer, sometimes staying for long sessions, but this time he remained in his seat for nearly 23 hours without pause. Other patrons noticed him shifting uncomfortably, rubbing his chest, but he kept on playing. As the morning turned into afternoon, his body weakened. At 3 p.m., he suddenly slumped back in his chair. His arms fell to his side, the mouse slipped from his hand.
Why are people doing this?
Calling his name, but he was unresponsive. Paramedics were summoned immediately. By the time they arrived, his pulse was faint and irregular. He was transported to a nearby hospital, where doctors attempted to resuscitate him. He was declared dead shortly afterward. Medical staff attributed the death to cardiac arrest, brought on by fatigue, dehydration, and prolonged immobility. It was one of several such incidents reported in China during that period. The Lineage 2 incident. On March 29, 2005 in Shanghai, two friends, Qiu Chengwei and Zhu Kaoyuan, played the online game Lineage 2.
This is actually the first game that I have not heard of. If you guys have, please leave a comment down below.
Qiu loaned Zhu a powerful virtual sword, the Dragon Saber. Weeks later, Zhu sold it for 7,200 yuan without permission. Furious, Qiu demanded its return. When Qiu refused, Qiu reported the theft to police. At the time, Chinese law did not recognize virtual property as real, and no charges were filed. On the evening of March 29th, Qiu confronted Zhu in person.
He took matters into his own hand.
Qiu drew a knife and stabbed Zhu repeatedly. Zhu died from his wounds. Qiu was arrested at the scene. In June 2005, he was convicted of murder and sentenced to life imprisonment.
I just cannot believe that people are going to these internet cafes getting so angry that they are stabbing other people. Bro, it wasn't even like a random stranger. He stabbed one of his good friends over a video game knife. I get that it probably was a really good knife and it did a lot of damage. It probably had cool elemental abilities and was like the best sword in the game. But you don't kill somebody over it. Just get another one. Buy it back. I don't know. What are we doing?
The possibility of parole. The killing became one of the first high-profile cases, linking disputes over virtual items to real-world homicide, sparking debate in China over the value and legal status of digital property. The Pokemon Train. On August 23rd,
another one.
2016, in Tokushima Prefecture, Japan, a 39-year-old truck driver was driving on a rural road while playing Pokemon Go.
Pokemon Go.
By the game, he failed to see two women.
Wait a second. I thought that you like can't play Pokemon Go in a car unless you're going like under 20 miles an hour or something. I remember that because, me and my friends, we kind of had like a Pokemon Go truck where we, a lot of us would be in the back playing Pokemon Go, and then our friend would drive. Our friend wouldn't play. All right, let me put that out there. Our friend would be driving and focused on driving, but we would all be in the back playing, but he would have to go slow so that we could catch Pokemon. I'm going to stop talking now. I don't know if I just incriminated myself.
At a railway intersection, the truck struck both pedestrians. One woman, aged 72, died instantly. The second, aged 60, was rushed to hospital with critical injuries and died shortly after.
No.
Witnesses said the driver never braked before impact. Police arrested the man at the scene. He admitted he had been playing Pokemon Go behind the wheel. Prosecutors charged him with dangerous driving resulting in death. The case made national headlines in Japan, where the government had already issued public safety warnings about the game. Following the tragedy, Niantic, the game's developer, added new warnings for players not to use the app while operating vehicles. Despite the changes,
that should have been obvious.
The Tokushima crash remains one of the deadliest incidents linked to mobile gaming distraction.
So now you guys finally can see why you should never play Pokemon Go while driving a vehicle. I thought that was kind of obvious, but apparently not. Next up, we're gonna try something a little bit different and shrink ourselves down to the size of a spider. And we'll be seeing which ones we could actually beat in a fight. Comment down below which ones you think you could beat in a fight. Probably none of them. Time to learn.
Have you ever wondered
that was me in my dream.
Deadliest spiders in the world?
No, it's terrible.
Well, let's find out. Challenger 1.
Oh my gosh. I'm getting flashbacks to my dream.
1.5 inches, the Black Widow is one of the deadliest spiders in the world. Drop a drop, its venom is more potent than most rattlesnakes.
That is true, guys, but a Black Widow, because it is such of a tiny size compared to a rattlesnake, most of the time Black Widow spiders are not actually deadly to people, which I thought forever, I don't know why, who told me this, but Black Widows, I thought for the longest time, were deadly. Like if you got stung by one or bit by one, then you are probably cooked. Like you're dead, bro. You're gonna get unalived, but apparently it's actually not the worst venom because they're so tiny that even though the venom is very potent, you need a lot more of it for it to actually be deadly. So, all of that being said, I would still be pretty scared of Black Widows, bro.
But in a fight, you do have one advantage. Widows have really poor eyesight.
Oh, nice.
That is to sneak attack it.
I got 20/20 vision.
Navigate its messy maze of tangle webs, and some strands are laced with sticky glue droplets. Just grazing against one is a death sentence.
Wait, why? What is that gonna do? Oh no, it's like 3M tape.
But
Oh,
what
God.
looks like a random mess of silk to us is actually an intricate network. And disturbing a strand in this network sends vibrations back down to where the widow rests, alerting her to your presence.
So basically, as soon as anything gets caught in a spider web, it's kind of like an alarm clock for the spider. Like, sometimes I will order food on Uber Eats, and then after a little bit, I'll fall asleep, forgetting that I put an Uber Eats delivery order in, and then I'll get woken up to a phone call. Hey, Jack, your double meat burrito is here from Chipotle. Come to the front door and grab it. That's basically the same concept as the Black Widow spider. I probably should not have told you guys that story. That makes me look really lazy.
It's kind of like those laser tripwire rooms you see in spy movies. You could try cutting yourself out, but widow silk is tougher than Kevlar.
What?
More wriggling means you get more tangled.
Oh no, you're so dead. It's over, bro.
She bolts towards you.
Yo, that's so scary.
Bites using her fangs.
You're so dead.
And it paralyzes you instantly.
Oh.
Most spiders feed in a similar way, first squirting digestive enzymes to liquefy your internal tissues, and then slurping up that sweet, sweet nutrient soup.
Yeah, you basically turn into a human Capri Sun if you try to battle most spiders.
Leaving behind a shriveled
At least you don't need Ozempic anymore.
Thankfully, Black Widow bites are rarely fatal for most non-bug-sized humans.
See, that's what I was saying.
Symptoms like muscle pain and cramps. Some
Oh,
other spiders
maybe
on
I'll
this
get big
list
muscles.
aren't so nice though. Into the collection you go.
All right, well, I think I could take a Black Widow spider. What is that?
Spiders.
Oh my God.
Spiders are devious hunters that can span up to 3 inches long. And as their name suggests, they create trapdoors using silk, soil, and leaves. And they're so well constructed that they camouflage perfectly with the ground.
Where is it?
Doors are rigged with silk tripwire, so as soon as you bump into one, the spider
It knows.
comes out, grabs you, and pulls you inside in a
Uber Eats delivery driver has arrived.
Super efficient at this, with strong spiny front legs to grapple prey and powerful fangs for piercing and crushing. And
So guys, I believe that I could probably take the Black Widow spider because I know I can't touch the webs, right? So as long as I can get through the webs and be very agile and flexible and not touch any of the webs to alert the Black Widow that I am about to kill it with my sword, then I should be able to get to it while the Black Widow is taking a nap, and then bada bing, bada boom, stab it in between its eye sockets, or use my handy dandy mini flamethrower, which I guess if I'm that tiny, could just be like a match or something. I don't know. I haven't really thought it out yet. But this spider is definitely different. If I'm stuck in a giant Roman Colosseum arena with this trapdoor spider, I'm not gonna know left from right. I'm not gonna know where it's gonna pop out of, and I'm basically gonna be like a schizophrenic, paranoid psychomaniac, like looking under everything, looking around, checking the ceiling, checking the ground, and just waiting to be attacked. So for this spider, I think I'm dead. I think I'm literally deader than roadkill on a Tuesday commute to work.
in case you try to resist, some trapdoor species even have armored carapaces for it.
Are you kidding me? Come on!
It's a high-risk, high-reward hunting strategy, though. Like, what if a predator triggers the tripwire instead? There's
bye-bye.
species, the spider, and it kind of looks like
What
the
is-
devs forgot to hit extrude on its butt. But
Yeah, what's
Black
that?
Butt actually
Oh, what
makes
the-
a shield.
Huh? Why does it have
Like
that?
Mario.
What the? Why does it look like that?
So in the off chance that you manage to dodge the
Oreo
spider's
butt.
attack, it can retreat and plug its burrow with its shield butt.
Literally, okay, that's crazy. It literally goes back into its burrow, plops its butt up, and then you can try to stab its butt, but I guess it's extremely powerful. That is actually insane. I did not know that. That is pretty cool, but I would die to that.
Before we fight the 7 other unique spiders on this list, let's go through some spider lore first.
Ooh, yes, everybody get their popcorn.
Makes a
Spider
a
lore.
spider. Is it the 8 legs? Well, this dude has 8 legs. No.
That's a water spider, of course. Everybody knows that.
You. If you want to be a spider, you need to have 2 body segments, 8 legs, silk spinning butt factories called spirettes, and Calycerate,
Butt factory!
word for fang bits. A spider's life cycle has 3 main stages. First is the egg stage.
Aw,
Female
so
spiders
cute.
lay hundreds of eggs in silk sacs. Some species stick them to their webs and guard them till they hatch, while others, like wolf spiders, carry them on their butt.
Guys, I've actually seen wolf spiders out in the wilderness. I don't know if you guys have checked out my BeckBros channel, but we made a video where we flipped a ton of rocks and we found some wolf spiders that were carrying their ginormous egg sacs. We weren't really sure what they were at the time, but now, after doing research, we realized that there were hundreds and maybe even thousands of little demons from Satan's purgatory just waiting to hatch and be unleashed on God's green earth. I should have burned it while I had the chance.
Second, we have the spiderling stage. The eggs typically hatch in a few weeks. And the spiderlings that pop
I don't like that.
usually a mini
Nope.
replica of their adult version.
I do not like it. They do look kind of cute though.
For themselves, but the wolf spider
He's got a knife!
carries them all on her back.
That is really kind of cool,
All you
but
need to do is
terrifying.
find food and survive. But your hundreds of brothers and sisters all need food too.
Hey guys, we could all work together, right?
Like a yummy snack.
Yo.
Cannibalism, the spiderlings run away. If they can, or some use a special ability called ballooning, where they release silk
What does that
threads
do?
into the air and peace out on a silk parachute.
Wait, that's amazing! I would totally
Part
do
of this stage
that. Oh,
is
he's dead.
molting. Because spiders have an exoskeleton, in order to grow, they need to constantly shed their skin to provide themselves with more
Oh.
to get bigger.
Yeah,
Can we
it is very
appreciate how
strange.
difficult it would be to pull all 8 of your legs out of your exoskeleton?
It probably takes a while.
Two-legged pants without
My jeans are too tight.
Depending on the species, the spiderling finally moves on to the adult stage. Now
Burn
the spider
it.
is at its full size, and this
No.
is usually when their colorful markings are most prominent. If
I
you're
don't
a
like
male
this.
Spider, for most species, it's pretty much a wrap for you at this point. You're at risk because you have to wander out of your nest to find the mate, or if you do manage to find the mate, she'll probably eat you.
Yeah, the crazy part is that female spiders are usually most of the time bigger than the male spiders, and then as soon as they, do the deed, the female spider eats the male spider as nutrients for the babies. I'm so glad to not be a spider, guys.
Or even if none of these things happen to you, you'll probably just drop dead right after anyway.
Wait, but why?
Biology. If you're
Oh.
a female spider, you can have a much more fulfilling adult life. You're often way bigger and scarier, and you usually live much longer
Muscle
too,
mommy.
producing multiple egg sacs over your lifetime. And then,
Rise, my children.
aw, you itching to get back into it, little guy?
No, please.
Not.
God, no.
Challenger 3.
Daddy Longleg?
Netcasters.
Not even close. Okay.
Netcaster is a spider that gets
Wait, guys, can we just take a second to stare at this thing? Because what am I looking at? My brother in Christ, what is that thing? It looks like the teacher after you say a little joke to your friend Steven at the back of class and you guys are both chuckling and the teacher, Mrs. Helen, looks at you guys like with her big black pupils and is just staring daggers into your soul. That is what this reminds me of, except it has not just normal human arms. It has ginormous spider arms, and it has 8 of them, and it is the face of an ogre. This thing should not exist.
its name from its big eyes and tiny head.
I don't like it one
It's
bit.
about 3 inches long, and their huge eyes give them really good night vision. Even better than an owl. There is a catch, though. They can't control the amount of light exposure into their eyes.
Oh, that's a
Humans
shame.
have irises for this purpose, but the eyes of ogre face over here are just one giant pupil. So
Crispy
every morning
eyes.
They get burnt to a crisp.
Oh my
Spider regrows its
gosh.
light-sensitive cells again by nighttime.
Are you serious?
Every day, by the way.
That is
your best
torture.
bet is to defeat them during the day when they're completely blind. That is,
Okay,
you
I can do
find
that.
them.
Wait, why can't I find them?
Camouflages with their
Hey.
bodies resembling bark.
Okay, hold on, wait. Does anybody see the spider? Okay, so it's this thing right there, right? Like that is the spider, and it's crazy because there's the 4 legs up there, and then there's the 4 legs down there, right? But they look like a stick. I mean, this one you can see it a little bit better, but they do a extremely good job of looking like sticks. And most animals don't really have the best eyesight compared to humans, so the fact that it takes me a little bit to try to find this means that other animals probably cannot see this thing very well.
Side leaves. Too late. It's nighttime now.
I'm dead.
Ogre face
Oh my
here is
God.
the hunt. It first weaves a rectangular web of silk, and then stretches it to 3 times its size between
Oh.
4 limbs like a net. Then,
That's
of course,
cool.
It takes a dump on the ground. And then
What?
they wait
Why?
motionless above.
What?
This leads to some of the coolest looking spider photos I have ever seen. Like, look at him! And look at his little Squidward face!
That thing is an
It's
assassin.
speculated to either be a target or something stinky to lure prey. As soon as you sniff that delicious poo and get close,
Okay, wait a second. What insect is like, oh yeah. Oh, that's the good stuff. That's the Krabby Patty secret formula. I need to get more sniffs of that. That is, what? What are we, what? Dude, bro, insects are crazy.
it strikes.
That's what you get for going to try to get the turd.
It wraps you up a bit more just to make sure
Look at that little cute guy.
it digs in.
Oh, and then, yep, we get Capri Sunned. All right, well, I think I could beat that thing. I think I could spot it and then kill it. Maybe.
Diving
What
bell
is
spiders.
that? That's a water spider?
The spider is quite tiny, spanning only 0.8 inches, and it's
Okay.
the known spider to basically live its whole life underwater. It can
I did not know that was a
live in water
thing.
For short periods, using air trapped on small hydrophobic hairs on its body. But
New
to
fear
stay
unlocked.
underwater for longer, it builds something called a diving bell. It
What?
first creates a waterproof web sack, and then inflates it using air trapped on its body. This usually
Okay, it kind of just looked like it inflated its little submarine bubble with farts. I can't be the only one that thought that, right?
takes the spider several trips up to the surface to accomplish. But once it's fully inflated, it serves as the spider's new base of operations.
So what does it hunt?
Usually only leaves to refill the air bubble or to hunt. Its diet consists of aquatic bugs, tiny crustaceans, and
Whoa.
sometimes even small fish.
What?
And it hunts by detecting the vibrations of prey in the water.
Okay, this is crazy.
It can't really eat you in the water because the digestive enzymes it squirts out would just get diluted.
Oh.
It drags you back to its little spider bubble where it can chow you down in peace.
Okay, I think that one is very deadly, and I mean, I'm a pretty good swimmer, so I feel like I could probably kill that one if I really had to. But I want you guys also, if you have not already been doing this, comment down below which spiders you think you could beat in a fight if you were tiny, and which spiders you would probably get unalived by.
Challenger 5.
Why is it so big?
Sea spiders.
No.
Giant Antarctic sea spiders
What?
live underwater along the coasts of Antarctica.
Are you kidding me?
Up to 30 inches long.
Nah.
That's
Nah,
like the
bro.
size of a small dog.
No.
I don't
That
know
thing-
how I feel
it-
about this anymore.
Is that
Not
an
exactly
actual
known
spider?
why they get so big, but there's a couple of theories. One is that Antarctic water is very oxygen rich, and the extra availability helps them grow better.
That's why the dinosaurs were so big
Bodies
too.
can store more energy in food-scarce environments, and can also deal with the crushing pressure of the ocean better. But despite having spider in their name, they're not spiders.
Yeah, it
They
doesn't
belong
seem
to
like
a
it.
group called Pycnogonids, which
Is that like
kinda
lobsters?
a distant cousin to spiders. So,
Oh, okay.
Close enough for me. They're so weird though. They have no lungs or gills, and instead breathe through their super long legs. Plus, their body is so small that they don't have enough space to store everything in there. So they keep
where do
some
they put the
vital
brain?
organs in their legs too.
Wait, that's actually kind of crazy because I recently learned that octopi also do that, where the like different octopus creatures, they have their 8 different like tentacle things, and in each tentacle is actually a tiny brain. So I guess a lot of underwater creatures that have multiple limbs and stuff, just to make use of the space, I guess they also store some weird organs in their legs too. I didn't know that.
Not really sure what you can do about this guy. Maybe
Nah, I'm
you can
dead.
Crawl into its leg and block its breathing pipes or something.
No more breathing.
It's got a bunch more of them though. These sea spiders feed super slowly using their long tubular proboscis. To
What is
feed
that thing?
soft-bodied prey like you. They then squirt digestive enzymes and suck up that nutrient soup.
Why am I getting sucked
Even though it's
so many
big, it
times?
still eats like all its other little spider friends.
This sucks. Literally. That thing is huge, by the way. I would die. I'm dead.
Could get dog-sized. I was curious about something. So
What?
I asked you in this community post. If you had to pick a dog-sized spider as a pet, what would it be? And
Jumping spider.
And
Jumping spider.
You chose.
Nope.
Can
What?
I eat it?
Okay,
I
what?
would have a black widow. Then I would
No.
train it to hide over the houses of my enemies.
What?
And sneak up from above. And
Why do you have so many enemies?
silk, then drag them somewhere to never be found again.
You would have an
The
assassin?
amount of detail that went into this plan. Baby spider plus flamethrower.
Yeah, I think that literally the only spider that I would want to have as a pet, and this is like, I don't even really want it, but if I had to pick one, it would be the jumping spider because it's so cute. But maybe part of the reason why it's so cute is because it's so tiny, right? So maybe when it's bigger, I won't like it as much. So I would probably also want a flamethrower on the side, just in case I don't like it.
Wait, that's not what I meant. Now, spider. I could take Spooter on fishing trips and could also sleep over in Spooter's underwater nest and watch whatever's going on in the lake above me. Like sleeping under the stars. Spider. Cutie patootie.
No, it's gonna eat you, dude.
Weaver. Because it can make me a nice warm blanket every day.
Oh, okay, all right, very profitable.
She could even make you warm clothes, a warm scarf, wrap you up nice and tight.
And then get sucked?
I would
Oh, yep,
finally be
dead.
able to
Eat spider legs. I think it would be nice and crunchy if you shave and deep fry it.
I've heard spiders taste like. Can I ride it like a horse? Yes. Can I climb up walls with it? Yes. Is it big enough to ride into battle? Yes. Jumping spider. It's
Yes!
kinda cute.
That has the most
especially when wearing
upvotes.
its water hat. Thanks.
Yay!
Back to the video.
Okay, what's next up? What is my challenger? I have my sword.
Wandering spiders. This
I'll
spider
kill it.
is one that you definitely don't want to pick a fight with.
Oh, never mind.
The Brazilian wandering spider is considered the most venomous spider in
Oh
the world.
no, it has a BBL.
Sized humans, a tiny dose of venom the weight of a grain of salt can be fatal if not treated in time.
What?
Wandering spiders can get huge, like 7 inches.
Oh my god.
Get off now.
That's like the size of my whole hand.
They're mostly found in the rainforests of South America, but
Don't
there
go
have been
there.
sightings of them in urban areas too.
Are you, what, not in the shoes.
A threat pose as a
Wait a second, it looks like somebody that's about to get arrested. Like somebody came up to them and they were like, put your hands where I can see them, I got a chicken and I'm not afraid to use it. And then the spider is just like, okay, you got me, bro. I'm gonna kill you anyway.
warning and charge at you to try and scare you away, even jumping up to 1.5 feet.
What? How? How do you do that?
The spider could be like here and then
On your face.
Also, as
Okay.
scary as the threat pose is supposed to be, it kind of looks like he's just asking for a hug.
No, it doesn't. Nope. Don't do it. Don't do it. All right, well, that thing would definitely murder me in my sleep.
Challenge
What's
accepted.
next?
Spitting spiders.
Oh, spitting spider's so cool.
Spitting spider spans up to 1 inch long, and they have the ability to shoot webs.
Hack two.
Webs shoot
Hack
through
two.
holes in their fangs, and they wiggle their chelicerae back and forth to create a zigzag pattern.
Oh,
This area of the spray, making it harder to dodge.
it's like Spider-Man,
Silk
but
also
just a
only
spider.
gets sticky when it comes in contact with the air. If this didn't happen, then the spider would be choking on its own web spit. But
Yeah,
because
that does
they're
make
slow
sense.
And have bad eyesight, spitting spiders usually hunt at night when prey is less active.
So they're like
Sneak up on you while you
stormtroopers.
sleep.
They have bad
Simply
accuracy.
prod you to gauge distance.
Hey, what's
The
up, man?
spider suddenly squeezes its body like a sauce bottle.
Wait, guys, okay, the spider sounded really cool because I was imagining, like, Spider-Man, you know, he could shoot out his webs from a long distance and then trap his, you know, his ops if he wanted to. But if the spider has to get within, like, touching distance of the prey, what is the point? What is the point of spitting your web? If you're literally that close, you might as well just start wrapping it up like a Chipotle burrito, right? It kind of just defeats the purpose in my mind.
Securing you as its next meal.
It's still cool though.
Bad enough
And we
you
got
picked the
sucked
spitting
again.
spider as a pet. You could have gotten a pre-squeezy bottle web shooter.
Somebody should check on Dumb Doggo.
Jade.
What the? No, I don't. No, you don't go for it. No, it's not that. It's not cool.
Spiders. The
Bolus spider.
is a tiny orb-weaving spider, spanning under an inch long. And they
Why
have
was
one
it
of the
so
most
circular?
unique hunting strategies, specializing in hunting moths.
No, 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 no.
First, they spit out a fully webby snot ball, and lower it down
Okay.
to the end of a silk line. Kinda like a fisherman. The shiny goo blob smells like a female moth to your moth brain.
No,
Stare into
don't
it,
trust it!
fly towards it,
It's
expecting to
not
find it.
really a woman! It's a
But
ball
instead,
of
the spider
death!
hits you in the face with sticky spider spit and
Oh,
catches you
crap,
on its
bro.
line.
I wonder when the moth actually realizes, like, oh, dang, this isn't my next girlfriend. I'm dead.
Then all the bolus spider needs to do is reel you into a venom-filled bite.
That is insane. Bro, the earth is so crazy. The fact that there's so many different types of spiders and each one has a specialized way that it hunts, and a lot of them are kind of similar to like different ways that humans also hunt, is insanely cool to me. I don't know if I'm just being a nerd, but like the fact that it can actually fish, I never knew that animals actually did that. That is so cool. Okay, this might be Challenger died. What the? Oh my, that is a lot of wet. You're dead.
Purse-webbed spiders. Purse-webbed spiders are dark, chunky, and have super long fangs that are
I
way
see.
too big in relation to
Is anyone else getting
They're often
itchy?
mistaken for tarantulas, although they only grow up to 2 inches long. But
That's
you'll
okay.
recognize
Not that
this.
big.
Purse-webbed spiders build a unique web in the shape of a tube, usually up against a tree so that it's
Okay, I
camouflaged.
see it.
Spider chills in the tube for its whole life, usually never ever coming out. When a
What?
brain like yours sees the tube, it gets curious.
No, don't go in.
Cookies at the top.
No, there's not. No, there's not cookies.
You notice your
Don't go for the cookie.
Where's the cookie?
The spider lunges to your position from the inside of the tube.
Oh
And
my
using
God.
its ginormous fangs, it pierces through the silk wall and straight into your guts.
It's basically like a Discord mod.
But you
It's
get it
living in the
eventually.
basement, just eating Uber Eats. It never leaves its room.
The spider cuts a small opening in the tube and pulls your corpse inside, sealing it again before it begins feeding.
Oh, that's it? That's not, okay, that's not too bad. Okay, guys, so the spiders were pretty deadly, but what if we change the spiders to beetles? Will we stand a chance? Let's find out.
Again, bug-sized man. Have
Hi.
you ever wondered what it's like to fight the deadliest beetles in the world?
Not like that.
Well, let's find out. Challenger 1. Rhinoceros beetles.
Oh my
This
goodness.
beetle is the longest beetle in the world, growing up to 7 inches thanks to their massive horns.
Oh,
They
okay.
intimidate their rivals and predators by making a hissing noise. But there's no way that's working on you, right?
It
You're
might.
wrong.
I get scared pretty easily.
Hercules beetle's actually quite slow on land, as its giant horn makes it difficult to move around.
Okay, guys, I would like to think, and I want you guys to also comment down below what you think about your own strength and capabilities when it comes to fighting these beetles, but I personally think that I could probably beat a rhinoceros beetle. I like to think of it like it's a giant, like a giant lard that can't really move around that fast because it's a giant bug and it's going to be kind of confused, A, about why it's so big, and B, it's going to be super slow with its movements because it's so big and it's going to be super stiff. So what I'm thinking I could do is probably run around it since I'll be fast and tiny and agile, and then I can jump up onto its back and then stab it with my sword in order to win. But yeah, comment down below what you guys would do.
Forgot to mention he can fly.
Oh gosh.
Clumsily, though.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
Now you would think that a magnificent horn like this would do a great job at the old stabby. But his horn is actually made of 2 parts, the cephalic horn and the thoracic horn. They're lined with hair and spines, and when he
Oh.
lifts his head up, it creates a secure pinch grip.
Oh
Actually,
God.
used to grab you, hoist you into the air, and suplex you into submission.
It's a professional sumo
Beetle then
wrestler.
approaches, ready for a snack after all that hard work.
Ooh,
Boy,
what-
he did
wait.
a great job.
Oh, he eats bananas. Okay, cool, we're fine.
Turns out he's not carnivorous. He's just
Yes.
a peaceful beetle who eats fruit and sap, and occasionally beats up other beetles. In front of the ladies, of course.
Yeah, that's how they
Hercules
get the
beetles aren't
ladies.
The only horned beetles that exist. There's elephant beetles, Japanese rhino beetles, atlas beetles, and many, many more. Into the collection you go.
Okay, one beetle down,
Before we dive
lots to
into the
go.
10 other unique beetles on this list, let's learn some beetle lore first. Did you know that the Hercules beetle started off as a slimy grub?
Oh yeah, a
Beetle's life
larvae.
cycle has 4 main stages. First, all beetles start off as an egg, which are usually laid near a suitable food source. Second, when the egg hatches, a larva emerges and gets to snacking right away. And not all of them
neat.
behave the same. The Hercules beetle larva feeds on rotting wood and leaves, but some other larvae are vicious, carnivorous predators.
Excuse me?
We'll
Yo!
get to them later. The main goal of the larva is to get as fat as possible, to store enough nutrients and energy for the third stage in the cycle, the pupa stage.
I'm pretty sure that the Hercules, aka the rhinoceros beetle, has the longest pupa stage of all of the different beetles. And it's in its larva for 2 to 3 years, and then it could be in its pupa stage for even longer.
Fat grubber burrows into the soil to form a pupal chamber, where it breaks down and completely reorganizes its body, developing structures like stronger legs, wings, and a harder exoskeleton. And in the fourth and final stage, the fully formed adult beetle breaks out of its pupal case, ready to take on the world.
Pokemon evolution at its finest.
Dame un plátano, pero...
Excuse me?
What?
Hey guys, it's me again. You just saw me 2 seconds ago, but if you guys have been watching the video for this long, you guys are now officially members of the Cookie Club. As a member of the Cookie Club, you guys seriously need to get your very own cookie plushie. Like, there's no way you guys have watched this video for over an hour and haven't scanned this QR code right here, or checked out BeckBroJack.co. If you already did it, great. If not, definitely go check it out, and make sure you guys use code Bessie for 10% off. All right, Cookie Club, let's get back to the video.
Challenger 2.
Next up,
Tiger
what
beetle.
is that, a
This is
tiger beetle?
The fastest running insect in the world. It can reach speeds of up to 5.6 miles per hour, which is about 125 times its body length per second. That's the equivalent of a human running 700 miles per hour. Basically
What?
the speed of a jet.
How is that even
It's
possible?
also one of the most aggressive beetles, equipped with curved serrated blades for mandibles that are quite large relative to their head.
So I am kind of curious, what makes a beetle, because the rhinoceros beetle and this tiger beetle look way, way different than each other. So I did look it up, and apparently a beetle just has to have hardened front wings, chewing mouth parts, which I feel like every single animal and bug has. It needs a straight line down its back, a complete metamorphosis, which we just learned about, where it goes from the baby egg into the larva to the pupal, and then it hatches into a glorious beetle. And it also needs segmented bodies with at least 6 legs, and probably only 6 legs. So it needs to have the head, the thorax, the abdomen, and then 6 legs, and they usually have 2 antennae that'll pop out of the beetle's face.
Size. But why all this fancy weaponry, you may ask? Well, it's to dismember you limb from limb, of course. Unlike the Hercules beetle, this guy's carnivorous. Oh, I think he saw you.
I'm dead. I think I lose to this beetle. Oh, is that a Breath of the Wild sound effect?
Unfortunately, it looks like you might have a chance of survival.
Wait,
Turns
why?
out
What
the
happened?
Tiger beetle moves too fast for its own brain. There's
What?
not enough time to process visual inputs.
Are you
so they
kidding me?
temporarily go blind mid-sprint. Oh, he's back now.
Imagine you did that as a human. Imagine after you went on like a full-out sprint, you just had to stay there to buffer. That actually is kind of how I operate. Whenever I fully sprint, I do need a couple seconds to catch my breath and buffer. So I kind of understand this beetle.
Oh, we're back again. Apart from their visual processing speeds, they're terrible with sharp turns.
Oh.
Like you've gotten away.
Wait, I might be able to actually... Oh,
Say hello
Oh,
to
God.
the tiger beetle larva, and they're just
What?
as silent as the adults. Their tactic is to burrow into the ground and wait patiently, and when prey like you stumbles along, they lurch out with lightning speed and grab you with their powerful pincers.
okay, this is insane how the larva version of this beetle is way different than the actual full-sized adult version. I wonder if this is actually where Pokemon evolutions came from, because it's weirdly similar.
Pulling you inside. The larva has a hump with curved hooks that allows it to anchor itself in
Ew.
the tunnel. So there's
I do
no
not
way
like
for you to
that.
struggle out once it's latched
That is
on.
so
And all the
creepy.
while it's using its mandibles to dismember you and eat you.
Oh my gosh, that's terrible. I like it.
Challenger
I think
3.
it's kind of cool. What is that? Was that flames?
Toxic beetles.
Toxic
Next up,
beetle.
we have the second coolest beetle on this list, the bombardier beetle. And inside its juicy booty is a toxic chemical weapons factory.
Oh no, of course it is.
Reservoirs inside the beetle's abdomen, one filled with hydroquinone and the other
Ew.
with hydrogen peroxide. When
That
threatened,
sounds
the
disgusting.
beetle squeezes these reservoirs, mixing the chemicals together in a chamber with a bunch of enzymes. The result is a violent exothermic reaction that
Okay, beetles are maybe my new favorite bug of all time. The fact that it has a laboratory inside of its butt is incredibly cool.
heats up to the boiling point of water and builds up a lot of pressure too. The beetle
Seriously?
releases this as a hot, noxious spray that can severely wound or even kill enemies.
It has
But you might
toxic
be
pee.
wondering, why doesn't this explosive beetle butt chemistry make him go? Well, a one-way valve prevents the pressure from going back into the beetle, ensuring
smart.
that it can only leave through one exit, the bombardier beetle's butt turret. The weapon is more like a Gatling gun than a flamethrower, and each spray is made up of a series of many rapid pulses per second. This
Ew.
helps the beetle avoid overheating and damaging
What?
it. And unfortunately for you, it stores enough chemicals to repeat this pulsing spray for up to 20 times in a single fight.
So I'm gonna say it's safe to say that I would probably die to this beetle and basically my entire body would get toxified.
Beetle's butt turret also has a 270-degree range of motion.
That is
meaning
insane.
It can protect itself from most angles. And if the boiling temperature wasn't unfair enough, one of the products of the reaction is benzoquinone, which is an irritant with a strong, stinky smell. So now you're in physical pain, the burns, and emotional pain because nobody wants to be around you.
That might be my new favorite beetle.
Challenge 4.
Ooh, underwater beetle. Water
Diving
beetle.
beetles. The
Ooh,
great
diving beetle.
beetle lives in freshwater ponds and lakes.
Oh, I've seen these all of the time. I grew up with an above ground pool, and you find these all of the time, at least where I used to live. I like to pick them up because they were harmless, and they also like have really good grip. Like, I don't know if you guys can see on their arms or their little legs, they have like these little pincher things that don't really hurt, but they're super, super powerful for gripping onto things. So I remember like putting them on my fingers because I was weird, and then they would be like impossible to get them off. I would be like, hey friend, do you want to get this off? And they would try, and it would be like really weird because it would just like stick to you. And the coolest part is they can also fly.
And they've developed a taste for seafood. Oh, come on, man! They can stay underwater for over 30 minutes using a bubble of air they've trapped under their wing covers as a scuba tank.
Ah,
And
that's
once it's
genius.
depleted, they stick their butt out of the water to replenish it. The beetles are quite agile, thanks to their
They breathe through their
paddle-like hind
butt.
legs, which are lined with long hairs to generate more thrust underwater. They use this speed to chase down prey like small fish and tadpoles. Then with their strong forelimbs and mandibles, they grab and tear them apart, all while
Whoa.
spewing digestive juices.
Wait a second, so are you trying to tell me that this beetle, when it grabbed onto my finger, thought that I was a fish and it was technically trying to eat me? I don't remember that happening.
Ooh, you got him! Ew, that's smelly. As a defense mechanism, the beetle secretes foul-smelling chemicals. This can cause larger fish to puke them out, or even paralyze them. You've escaped this time. But you're not safe yet, because diving beetle larvae are even more of a
No! Why are they so
extremely
crazy?
aggressive hunters, capable of overpowering prey much larger than them, even other adult diving beetles. Once they've pierced their prey, digestive juices are injected through a tube in the mandible, and the liquefied nutrient soup is slept up. This vicious behavior grants them the very cool nickname of water tiger.
So guys, I do have a question for maybe some of you bug experts in the comment section. Can you comment on why sometimes the beetle larvae are bigger than the actual full adult beetle? Is it because they need like more energy, and in order to go from the larvae to the pupal to the adult stage, they need like a bunch of stored up calories in order to go through the metamorphosis? Is that why? Because it's kind of crazy to me that they wouldn't just stay in the larva stage, because it looks like they're bigger, they're more powerful, they're better at hunting than when they're in their full adult beetle stage.
Challenger 5. Indestructible beetles.
What are those?
Diabolical ironclad beetle.
Oh
Yep,
my
that's the right
gosh.
name. Ironclad because it's covered in almost indestructible armor, and diabolical because the guy who named it must have stubbed his toe on one. This is diabolical. The beetle can take a crushing force of 39,000 times its own body weight.
Are you kidding me?
Being stepped on by 500 African elephants. And
how can it withstand that?
Being run over by a car. The diabolical ironclad beetle has sacrificed flight, and instead, its wing covers are permanently fused together to form an impenetrable exoskeleton.
I kind of feel like that's worth it, especially because some beetles are not good at flying. So if I could trade flight for becoming indestructible, and I won't have to worry about getting stepped on or even eaten, then I would totally do that.
It's made up of multiple layers of tough chitin, interlocked in a jigsaw-like pattern that allows them to flex and absorb high impacts efficiently. Ironclad beetles can also live up to 8 years, which is way longer than the typical lifespan of most beetles.
I mean, they live up to their name as being indestructible, even to Father Time.
Basically dumped all of their stat points into defense and HP, the ultimate tank build. So I guess you're not winning this fight. But you're in luck, because this guy ain't winning either. Despite its evil-sounding name, the diabolical ironclad beetle is actually quite docile, and it plays dead whenever it gets threatened. Why don't we call it a draw for now? Although, it's probably playing dead right now for another reason.
Yeah, I think that I would probably also draw against that beetle. Even right now. Like, if I tried to fight that beetle, and I am full size, and that beetle is like the size of my thumb, I can't produce more power than a car running over this thing. So even now, in my normal size, it would still be a draw, which is kind of embarrassing for me. Also, what's going on with that duck?
If you're enjoying the video so far, it would help me a lot if you could hit the like button. Thank you. Goodbye.
I did. Don't worry. I got you, dumb doggo.
Challenger 6. Dung beetles.
Dung beetle!
Stinky little bugs covered in poop all day.
I do.
You're right, but don't underestimate them, because they're actually one of the strongest creatures relative to their size.
I heard a fact about dung beetles that I will never forget, and it is that they can roll dung balls 50 times their weight. They can roll a giant ball of turd 50 times their body weight. How crazy is that?
Being able to pull 1,141 times their own body weight. That's like you being able to pull a fully loaded Boeing 737 by yourself.
Yeah, bugs are built different, especially beetles.
Have a super sensitive sense of smell, which is great for finding new piles of poop. Their whole world revolves around it. They eat poop, live in poop, and raise their stinky little lava babies in poop. Different species show different behaviors. Rollers roll the dung ball to a safe spot, bury it. Tunnelers burrow into the dung piles and live in the tunnels underneath. And dwellers literally just live in the dung pile.
Isn't it incredibly cool how on this entire planet there's so many different types of animals and creatures and bugs and there's mushrooms and different things and bacterias, and we all live together harmoniously, except when people are doing bad stuff to the environment. But other than that, all of the animals live together in harmony, and then you got this thing. You got a beetle that eats, lives, and breathes poop. Like, how amazing is that?
Once a roller has captured a ball, they can't be stopped. Literally, the beetle rolls its ball in a straight line no matter the obstacles.
Wait a second.
If it gets knocked off course, it gets up on its little poop perch and uses the sun, the moon, or light from the Milky Way galaxy to reorient itself.
Okay, that is incredibly cool. It is an astronomer. It's Sisyphus as an astronomer.
Very aggressive, but they get serious once you threaten to steal their poop ball. It's like
I don't think I want to.
Where the beetle stands on its ball and defends it against the other.
It's my poop. Back up.
Unfortunately, the dung beetle's love of poop is also their greatest weakness. Their
Wait, why?
predator, the burrowing owl, purposely collects poop from other animals
No.
and places it around their burrows as bait.
Are you kidding me?
For an all-you-can-eat beetle.
That just goes into my point of how amazing planet Earth is. Not only is there the dung beetle that lives, eats, and breathes poop, there is an owl that learned this and then picks up the poop, puts it near its house, and then just waits for the beetles to come.
Buffet.
Insane. I could probably beat it in a fight, though. All I gotta do is just set a trap with some poop. What is that? Okay, that is too big. Nah, I'm
Titan
good.
beetle is the biggest beetle in the world.
Whoa.
Don't look at that guy. His horn doesn't count. Anyways, Titan beetles can grow up to 6.5 inches long. And
Okay,
their
that's
large
too big for a
mandibles
beetle.
use enough force to snap
Nah.
a pencil in half.
That beetle is gonna
Of course,
beat me
they
up.
have no problem cutting into human flesh too.
What? Why?
These
Why
guys
is that?
eat to get this big? Well, actually, nothing. Adult Titan beetles don't eat. In fact, they don't
What?
even have digestive enzymes.
Wait, what?
It's speculated that as larvae, they store enough energy to last their entire adult stage of life.
Okay, so that does lead into my theory that I'm thinking now might be fact, that the larva stage is meant for getting as much food and probably mass as possible, and then when it turns into an adult, it doesn't really have to worry about that as much.
And I say speculate because Titan beetle larvae have never been found in the wild. And
What?
none have been bred in captivity either.
Wait,
We
how
don't
not?
even know what they look like. Adult Titan beetles only live
I don't
for
wanna
a few
know.
weeks before they burn through all their energy supplies. So to beat these guys in a fight, all you have to do is evade them until they
Oh.
eventually flop over and die.
Okay, maybe I could do that then.
I won.
Okay, I'll beat it
won.
by way of running. People are not gonna be too excited. Oh no, please don't be a rhino beetle.
There's
What-
actually another contender for biggest beetle if you go by sheer weight.
What
The
are we
Goliath
talking about?
beetle.
Of
They
course
come in
there
at a
is.
whopping 50 grams, and the larva
What?
is chunkier, weighing
Ew.
100 grams.
No.
Luckily, both of these guys aren't carnivorous, so as long as you're not trying to steal their food or their mates, they're pretty
Okay.
docile. and you
Okay,
can
stay away
escape
from the
without
food
a
and the mate.
Can't
Got
say
it.
the same about the next one, though.
Next
Challenger
up, we
8.
have tiger beetle.
Epomis beetles. To
Oh,
the filthy casual, the Epomis beetle might look like any other regular beetle, but
Yeah,
you
kind
should
of.
know better by now.
why?
Actually, I'll let you take a break for this one.
Is it poisonous?
I have another victim in mind.
Wh-
You see,
what
throughout
is that?
beetle history, there's been one slimy predator that has terrorized every bug in existence. A relentless, bottomless bug vacuum. The
Frog.
Now we're about to see the predator become prey.
Wait a second, this thing eats
This
frogs?
tale of revenge begins as a tiny larva. In the presence of a frog, the Epomis larva acts all weak and helpless. wiggling
Oh,
its
no.
antenna around pathetically.
Eat me!
Don't eat me! Vivian is baited into thinking it's an easy meal, and it'll
Idiot.
guard down and
You
lunge.
fool!
And
You're
that's
so
the
dumb.
last mistake this frog will ever make. The larva dodges and immediately
What?
counterattacks by sinking its creepy double-hooked mandibles deep into the frog's slimy flesh.
That's actually incredible because I'm sure you guys have seen slow-mo videos of frogs like spewing their tongue at bugs to try to capture them, and it goes fast. Like if you blink, you're gonna miss it. So the fact that this thing has the reflexes and the agility to be able to dodge that, this thing must be insanely fast. And for those reasons, I don't think I'm gonna beat it in a fight.
There's no chance for the frog to struggle free as the larva
Whoa.
slowly slurps up its body fluids,
Wha-
eating
Ew.
it completely. Even if
What?
the frog manages to swallow the larva, it's been known to
It's-
latch on from the inside.
So it's a
usually
juice
causing it
box.
to be violently regurgitated. And
Wow.
ready to attack the frog again.
Oh my
Once the
goodness.
larva transforms into an adult, it doesn't even bother with the bait and switch playstyle anymore. Instead, it relentlessly hunts the frog down and latches onto its back. And
Okay,
then,
that is
using its
wild.
mandibles like scissors, it cuts through the muscles and tendons of the hind legs,
What?
enabling the
No!
frog's ability to jump and escape. Then
What?
it can take its sweet leisurely time to eat the frog alive. In my opinion, this is the coolest beetle on the list. But get back in there.
I mean,
It's
yeah,
not
that's the
deadly beetles
deadliest
enough.
beetle on the list. If a beetle can beat a frog, that beetle is the best. Who dat?
Stag beetles. Stag
Oh.
beetles are most notable for their giant pinchy mandibles.
They look so
come in
cool.
all different shapes and sizes. The largest of them is the giraffe stag beetle, with long serrated mandibles that are quite scary. When challenged, the first thing a stag beetle does is intimidate its opponent.
I'm starting to realize that a lot of beetles are named after animals in the animal kingdom, like giraffe, rhino, dung.
By rearing up onto
Okay,
its
maybe not that
forelegs
one.
and spreading its jaws. If the opponent doesn't
Tiger
knock down,
beetle.
then the fight begins. I think you can probably guess what's gonna happen next, though.
Watch out, watch out, watch out!
Just like Hercules beetles, stag beetles aren't carnivorous, so it just leaves you alone after it's broken your back. But it must be quite
thanks.
hard to get to food when you're blocked by these things all the time. Another stag beetle species known as Darwin's beetle is famous for their treetop battles during mating season. While fighting for a mate, they use their mandibles to hook onto their opponent's wing covers for leverage.
Okay.
Them off the tree.
Beetle battles are so much fun.
In reality, though, the stag beetle's jaws look a lot worse than they actually are. They can only pinch and not bite, so they're not
that's
actually
good.
that painful.
So a lot of beetles, from what we're learning, their big mandibles are mainly just for grabbing, picking up, and then throwing other beetles or whatever it is that they're up against off of some high area.
Challenger 10. Imposter beetles.
Wait,
This
ladybugs?
beetle looks kinda cute
Nope.
with its fluffy antenna and chunky build, but don't
Ladybugs are beetles, by the way. I don't know if you guys knew that. I mean, they're bugs, but they're actually tiny baby beetles.
be fooled. They're the most devious critters on this list. It all starts when the antness beetle comes across a worker ant. Oh, come on. The beetle secretes pheromones, which the ants go crazy for. And at the same time, they also use an acoustic mechanism to imitate the sounds of a queen ant.
Whoa.
It smells like an ant, it sounds like an ant, but it sure doesn't look like an ant. Must be an ant.
What?
Beetle waltzes right into the ant nest, where it's treated like royalty.
Are you
Gets
kidding
a
me?
free spa day as it receives plenty of grooming from the worker ant.
Okay, if I had to become any beetle, which I know is not the point of today's video, but if I had to, it would be this one. It would either be this one or probably the dung beetle.
It gets free babysitters as the ants feed and care for all the eggs the beetle lays.
No way.
It also gets plenty of free meals, as the beetle repays all the ants' kindness by eating them instead.
I mean, yeah, that's what they get for being so dumb.
Somebody keeps eating all our eggs. Who do you think it is?
I don't know. I guess there is one thing the ants get out of this deal, though. If a predator or ants from another colony try to invade, the beetle whips out its explosive butt spray to defend the nest.
That's pretty
Similar
good.
to the bombardier beetle.
Wouldn't the ants, I mean, I know that ants are not very smart when it comes to maybe noticing things like that, but if I was an ant and I saw my queen ant start shooting people with explosive turds, I might start asking some questions.
Challenger 11.
What do we got next?
Blister beetles.
Blister
Our final
beetle.
challenger. Why don't you
Hello.
get in the pack?
I'm good, actually.
Right?
Oh, okay then.
I feel like he will bite. Did I just get a
Looks like you're gonna
rash?
Take Nature 101. If it's got bright spots, don't touch it. Blister
Yeah.
beetles produce a toxic chemical in their bug blood called cantharidin, which causes
Ew.
painful welts and blisters to form all over your skin upon contact.
ooze
Many
chemicals.
species are aposematic, meaning they have bright colors on them to deter predators. Nice of them to warn you, but not all of them though.
What's up with that
Blisters
one?
form after an hour or so, and in most cases heal in about a week. But if you decide to crush the beetles up into a powder and eat them that way instead, you'd feel severe stomach pain and nausea, followed by
Another fun fact about these beetles is that the toxic thing that they produce is actually used in some medicines, which is kind of cool.
blisters in your mouth and throat. Depending on how many you ate, in a few hours you might have kidney damage and you could even die from organ failure. How did
From
people
one
find
beetle?
this out? Well, it's said that the ancient Romans and Greeks thought it was an aphrodisiac because
Oh,
apparently being
no.
on the brink of organ failure felt like arousal to them.
Oh,
Modern world, however, blister
What?
beetles are huge pests. They eat the leaves off of crops like potatoes and tomatoes, and even worse, they can get into the food source of livestock, like hay for horses. Who do you think would win? One horse or a couple of stinky beetles? Well,
Beetles.
ingesting just 4 grams of blister beetles can actually be fatal for the horse. I guess technically there was no winner in that.
that must be so scary because I swear these beetles are probably everywhere and they eat the hay of the horses that the horses are supposed to be eating. So you probably have hay bales filled with these beetles that are toxic.
Apart from the chemical defenses, blister beetles don't have much going for them. They've got small mandibles that aren't very good at biting, and their exoskeleton is pretty weak. Maybe this is a fight you can actually win.
Really?
I mean, I don't know. I feel like I could probably win,
Maybe not.
but I might die trying.
Collection's finally complete. Would you trust your life in the 4 opposable thumbs of a baboon?
No.
If you were aboard
Maybe.
a train bound for Cape Town in the 1880s, there's a good chance that that was exactly what you were doing.
Wait a second, are you about to tell me that there was a baboon managing a train?
Meet Jack, the
Seriously?
signal man.
There's no way.
A baboon responsible for preventing trains from crashing into each other.
They couldn't just pay a person to do this job?
Job in the first place. Well, it all started with a man named James Jumper Wide. He was a signalman who was famous for jumping between rail cars.
Pretty epic.
Until he fell.
Oh.
And lost both of his legs.
Ooh. Oh.
Although he built
God.
himself some pegs for legs and a makeshift wheelchair,
Peg
Jumper
leg.
thought his career as a signalman was over. Until he stumbled across Jack the Baboon, who had been trained to push an ox cart. After much begging and pleading with the owner, he bought Jack the Baboon and took him home.
Interesting. So he saw Jack the Baboon and then realized, this baboon is smart. Maybe I could teach him how to do my job so that... Wait, why did he want to teach him how to do his job? What was he going to do? Because he can't jump on more trains. He doesn't have any legs.
Jack turned out to be an alcoholic.
Wait, what?
Anything unless he was given a few drops of booze.
What?
And so, with enough encouragement, Jumper was able to train him to push his wheelchair.
Oh no, what is that? What is that little baboon butt?
Hard at work at the levers every single day. Approaching trains would blow a certain number of whistles, which corresponded to the track they wanted to be transferred to. And Jumper would hobble around with great difficulty and set the right levers for the train. And just by observing, Jack was able to learn and memorize these sequences. It didn't.
Wait, I didn't realize that an animal was able to learn just by watching. I thought that most animals needed some sort of treat in order to learn. Similar to like how you treat a dolphin how to do tricks, or a dog, or a cat. When you show them how to do the thing, then you give them a treat as positive reinforcement. So this baboon was so smart that it didn't even need positive reinforcement. It already had the alcohol ready. So I guess it already was positively reinforced, and then it just knew to follow whatever this man did. And then it was able to do the job. That is impressive. I don't even know if I could figure that out.
Didn't take long till Jumper let him try flipping the levers himself. And soon, Jumper had given the monkey full control.
This
But it
feels a
didn't
little
take long
unsafe.
for railway authorities to receive a complaint from a passenger, and after confirming the ridiculousness for themselves, fired the pair on the spot.
Wait, how do you fire the baboon? The baboon was never hired to begin with, was he?
Pleaded with authorities to let Jack prove his abilities, and after harassing them for days, they eventually agreed to give him a chance.
Really?
Jack's performance left them speechless. In fact, Jack performed so well that they made him an official employee of the railway, with a salary of 20 cents a day and a half a bottle of beer a week.
That's insanely cool.
Money for, but he
Yeah, right.
made good use of that alcohol.
Wait a second, does that mean that this monkey is like one of the only monkeys in history that had to pay taxes? Is that what we're saying?
And after being employed for 9 years in the railway, Jack never made a single mistake, performing
Not
his job
even one.
better than a human could. He
Wow.
eventually died of tuberculosis in 1890, and his skull resides in Albany Museum to this day.
Oh, but memorizing a bunch of lever positions is easy.
Well, why don't we...
Wait, no, that is not what I am saying. That seems extremely difficult and also very dangerous. I can't believe that humans let a monkey do a job that could potentially lead to a train in a disastrous moment. Like, if anything went wrong, trains could collide. So that is insane. I feel like the humans were stupid for letting the baboon do it, but the baboon ended up being smarter than the humans.
Play a memory game then. I'm gonna show you 5 random numbers between 1 and 9, and I'll hide them after a
5,
short
9,
amount
7,
of
4,
time,
1.
and you need to recall their positions in ascending order. We'll start easy. Ready, set,
Okay.
go.
Okay, 9, 2, 6, 3. Okay, so it's this one's 9, 2, 6, 3. I forget what the top one was. So 9. This one's 2. You guys can't even see what I'm doing, but no, okay. This one was 2. This one was 3. This one was 6. So it goes bang. This one. This one. This one. This one.
So get your answers ready
Right?
now. If it was 2,
Yeah,
3,
yep,
6, 8,
yeah,
and
yeah.
9,
I did
good
it!
job.
Yes!
Most of you got that. Now,
Okay.
let's ramp up the difficulty.
Wait, what do
Ready,
you mean?
Set, go.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess none of you got that one.
No, wait.
But guess what? Ayumu
Did I?
the chimpanzee.
I don't know if I did.
Ayumu is a part of the eye research
How?
project in Kyoto University.
How does it
He's
know?
really good at this
What?
memory test. I mean, look at that speed.
Wait,
Look
what?
at that technique.
What the? How is he? What the?
The project
How did he
was
do
actually
that?
started to research Ayumu's mum, Chimpanzee Eye, the first chimp in the world able to represent numbers with Arabic numerals, and she even liked to paint for fun.
She painted the Mona Lisa?
Big brain mum, but
The
big
monkey
brain
Lisa?
son. Ayumu answered the memory test correctly with an accuracy of 79% on average,
Wow.
maintaining his accuracy even with shorter test times. This
That
was
is
compared to
crazy.
human subjects on the same test, and well, this is what their graph looked like.
Pretty bad, right?
These results made it seem like young chimpanzees have a much better working memory than humans, but some scientists disagree
Really?
with this, saying,
You will have more practice time.
so in another experiment, the humans took more time to practice the task first. And after 2,500 trials,
That's
they
a
were
lot.
just able to match Ayumu's accuracy levels. I expected a bit
So
more
they were
out of
the
these
same.
humans, to be honest. Shouldn't they be way better with numbers than a chimpanzee?
yes,
Well,
yes.
speaking of numbers, Clever Hans was a horse from Berlin in the 1900s who
Hold on, wait a second. Okay, so I understand monkeys and different types of monkeys being, pretty smart compared to humans. We've all heard that before because they're kind of closely related to us. So it makes sense because they have, tools that they can make. They have their own communication. They clearly understand math and numbers. But a horse? Horses can do that too.
seemingly had the ability to do quick math. His
What?
owner would ask him a question, and Clever Hans would answer by tapping his hoof the correct number of times.
He could. Okay, that's a
Seems
neat
bit
party
sus,
trick.
and
Yeah, I don't know if I
the German Board
believe
of
that.
Education thought so too, because they conducted an official scientific investigation into Hans's abilities. A man
Okay.
named Oscar Funks designed the experiment and hypothesized that Hans's owner was sneakily sending him signals. So he made a random stranger.
Okay, even if he was secretly sending him signals, that is still pretty impressive if they are able to deceive a giant group of people. Even if they aren't doing it, legitimately. If the horse is looking at the guy and the guy is giving a fun hand signal and the horse knows how many times to tap, that is still pretty impressive for a horse.
To ask the questions instead. But Hans was still able to nail the answers.
Okay, that's
Perplexed,
even more impressive.
Funks then used blinders
What?
on Hans so he couldn't see the questioner, and his ability to answer the questions plummeted. In
Oh,
some cases, he would even
what?
keep tapping his hoof on the ground indefinitely.
But why?
Couldn't he answer correctly when he couldn't see the questioner? Funks
I'm confused.
had an idea. He asked Hans a question that he himself didn't know the answer to, and amazingly, Hans proceeded to do this again. The conclusion Funks came to was that Hans was able to pick up on subtle, involuntary gestures from the questioner when his answer reached the right number.
Oh, okay, so the guy was technically giving signals, but it was involuntary. So he didn't do it on purpose, but when Hans would get to the answer, like if it was 16 divided by 4 and the answer was 4, as soon as, Hans tapped 4 times, then the person, the trainer, would twitch or something, and then Hans would know that he should stop and that he got it right. Because he probably also got a treat.
He was so good at detecting these minute postural changes that the questioners themselves were totally unaware that they were doing them.
That is pretty
Hans
impressive.
may not have been a big brain maths genius, but he was a genius at reading people's body language.
He was a psychologist
Something
horse.
humans themselves are notoriously bad at.
Interesting.
Could you imagine Hans as a detective, though?
Where are the
I don't know.
drugs
I
going?
swear.
Yeah, you're lying. Oh, no,
This whole
no.
occurrence coined the term the clever Hans effect, where an animal predicts what someone wants them to do without actually understanding their own actions. For this
Interesting.
reason, it's important to conduct animal experiments in a double-blind fashion, where nobody knows what the expected results are.
I see.
Hey, Alex.
Well, yeah, that makes sense.
In 1977, animal psychologist Dr. Irene Pepperberg bought an African gray parrot from a pet store. She named him Alex.
So I know for a fact that African gray parrots are really good at mimicking different sounds. So if you say something to it, it's really good at saying it back to you. And sometimes you can even have conversations with it if you can teach it enough words. Supposedly, it knows as many words as a 2 to 3 year old toddler could, which is pretty impressive.
Short for Avian Learning Experiment. And over the next
Alex.
30 years, she proceeded to make him the smartest animal in the world.
What?
Alex had a spoken vocabulary of over 100 words, but instead of just imitating words, he seemed to have an understanding of what they actually meant.
See, that is where it's taken to the next level, because a lot of parrots are able to parrot the words that you're saying back to you. If I say subscribe, you can say subscribe back. Super easy, but you might not understand what subscribe means, which is, you know, you go over to the red subscribe button and then you click the subscribe button. If you didn't know what it meant, then now you do. But anyway, this bird usually doesn't know what it's saying. It just knows how to mimic the sounds of what it's saying. It doesn't understand the meaning behind it, so this bird did, which is kind of weird.
He could label objects correctly based on their shape,
What?
size, color, or material.
I
and
couldn't even do that
create
until I was
his own
12.
ones, like when he was shown an apple for the first time and called it a banary, combining two words he had
Wait,
already
that's so
learned,
cool.
banana and cherry.
Okay, who's in favor of letting this parrot name future fun things? Because that would be incredibly awesome if a parrot was in charge of naming stuff.
Ooh, look at the smart bird brain. Alex also showed genuine anger or surprise when the researchers tried to trick him during tests. If Alex asked for a banana and they gave him a nut instead, he would
No, no.
He also got frustrated with his fellow research buddies when they answered wrong. How many blocks are there?
4?
Get mad at
Freakiest part was
them.
when he looked in the mirror one day and asked,
Wha-
What color?
this was the first instance in
What?
history of an animal subject asking a question. That too, an existential one.
Hold on. Wait, this is kind of reminding me of those videos on TikTok I've seen of the dogs that have the different buttons that they can press to speak with their owners. And sometimes they question their own existence. Like I remember this one dog pressed on buttons to ask, "Why am I dog?" How do you answer a dog asking, "Why is it a dog?"
There's plenty of past examples of animals communicating with humans using sign language and whatnot, but not a
Was that a
single
shadow
one
clone
has
jutsu?
asked a question. It's always been,
Give food, give drink, leave me human. Give food.
the cutest thing
Yeah,
is that every
that's
night
how I
before
communicate.
Dr. Pepperberg locked the lab up, Alex would say,
You be good. I love you. See you tomorrow.
Aww.
and those would be his last words before
No.
unexpectedly passing away one night.
Wait, how long did he live? 1976 to 2007. This bird was older than I am.
Age
Or it was.
31.
Wow.
So far, all of these smart animals have been in some form of captivity. But what about a big brain animal in the wild? In the
Dolphin.
late 1800s, ships had great difficulty navigating a treacherous stretch of water called Cook Strait. It was notorious for wrecking ships, and sailors were terrified of passing through. One day, as a ship named the Brindle approached, the crew saw a Risso's dolphin bobbing happily in front of them. And of course, as humans always do, they proceeded to try and kill him.
Of course.
Thankfully,
That's
the
what we do
captain's
best.
wife managed to talk them out of it. But to their
Thank God.
surprise, despite the threats to his life, the derpy dolphin began to guide the ship safely through
What?
the dangerous water.
Wait a second. So this dolphin was under attack, and then after they stopped, it was like, all right, cool. I'm going to show you where to go now.
And from that day onwards, he did the same for every ship passing
What?
through. He was given the
That's a
name
long way.
BeckBroJack. When he
Huh.
navigated, not
So
a
cute.
single shipwreck occurred. Sailors
Wow.
would even refuse to enter the strait unless BeckBroJack had appeared to guide them.
Wait,
This
that's kind of
continued until
incredible.
1904, when someone aboard the SS Penguin fired their rifle
No!
at the dolphin. BeckBroJack was injured
No!
and he disappeared. The people were
Why would you
devastated,
do
and a
this?
law was passed under the Sea Fisheries Act, protecting him from any other attacks on his life.
Wait, just
You wouldn't
him?
be surprised if he decided to never help out a human
Why not
again,
all
but
dolphin?
On one fateful day, BeckBroJack reappeared.
What?
Hey guys.
He was
Oh
a
my
kind-hearted, forgiving creature, ready to help out humans in need again.
That's so
Except
nice.
for the SS Penguin,
Don't help
which
them.
ended up shipwrecked in the same
Good.
waters in 1905.
I
And
love
after
karma.
being a companion to sailors for over 24 years, BeckBroJack was last seen in April of 1912. There
So,
were various
he could still be
speculations
out
about
there.
his disappearance, but I'd like to think that he found a nice place to retire in after
Yes.
a long, fulfilling life. He seemed
I
like
hope so.
a pretty cool dude and is fondly remembered as a hero to many New Zealanders.
Oh my gosh, they made a
It's really
sculpture of
amazing
him.
how all these animals were so smart, and it's also amazing how I am a dumb doggo. See you next time. Here's how you can become a real cyborg right now.
Yes.
Step 1, have a body made of flesh and blood.
Say what
Step
now?
2, put the body through
Terrible accident.
Wait, I don't know if I want to sign up for this actually.
3, get smart engineers to experiment on you for research.
I'm starting to rethink this
But
idea.
you're still stuck on step 2 right now. So how about we take a look at some real-life examples of cybernetic upgrades you can get?
Yeah, it looks awesome.
Great. We've got sense augmentation,
Okay.
telepathic communication,
Pretty cool.
and finally, bionic limb
Yo.
modification. Let's start at
Okay,
the top.
I'll take that.
Bionic eyes.
That's a real thing.
In 1978, engineer William Dobell tried to create artificial vision.
Smart man, big
He
brain.
found that when you electrically stimulate the visual cortex, a splotch of light called a phosphene is perceived.
Okay, guys, I just need to back up for 2 seconds here. I just, like, scientists like this kind of scare me a little bit because how did he figure this out? He obviously had to do a lot of experimentation on actual human brains, which is kind of how we have all science today and biology. So, I mean, I get that you have to do it, but at the same time, you know, this guy's kind of crazy for figuring that out.
He then stabbed a bunch of little electrodes in and mapped video camera footage to them, creating a dot matrix of phosphenes. So now someone wearing the device could see the outline of shapes.
Okay, big
One
brain.
of his blind patients even regained enough vision to drive a car.
Wait, really?
I can finally see now. His work was showing signs of truly helping people. And then he
So I wonder if that's what they actually see. Like, they can't really see colors or they can't really see too many shapes, but they can see little dots in the form of shapes, which I guess is kind of what you would need to just make out objects in the world. So, I mean, if it's either you're blind or you get this, I would rather have this.
He died. And everyone realized
he
that
died?
he barely documented anything. All that research straight down the toilet.
Seriously,
But since
bro?
then, there have been many advances in bionic eye technology. Devices like the Argus 2 now allow you to read large text.
Interesting. There you go. You got
Imagine if
it.
You could record and replay memories, or you could even stream other people's camera feeds and relive them for yourself.
Wait, did he just say that you could relive memories? That's an actual thing? I have never heard of that before. Comment down below if you have, but that seems like something out of, I don't know, like some sort of futuristic movie.
Maybe you could even zoom in.
Wait.
Enhance.
Oh,
One
no,
day,
no.
I could even
Cursed.
hack into your eyes and play doggo videos directly into your brain. Well, anyways, congratulations on your new bionic eyes. But did you know people nowadays are experimenting with non-human senses as well?
Huh? Like what?
Magnetic sense. This one's a weird modification, but you need all the help you can get, my friend. So you get a professional to cut
But, yeah,
your finger open and stick a itty bitty magnet inside.
Okay, guys, this is where they start to lose me because I know that there are these cyborg superpower augmentations that you could technically add, but it, you know, you gotta kind of like cut open parts of your body, and that's where I might have to draw the line. I don't know if I'm willing to commit to that because that sounds a little scary. And also for some of these things, you can't really reverse it, I don't think. Like once it's there, it would be weird to go back to the way that you used to be because you'll kind of get used to having this upgrade.
Now it wiggles whenever you're near a magnetic field. Seems a bit gimmicky.
Is that
but
useful?
Could be useful for an electrician. You can
Oh, okay,
sense
yeah.
the shape and intensity of magnetic fields, and even distinguish between AC and DC voltages.
So this would be good for somebody that's like working around electricity and different magnetic fields all day, but you can't turn into Magneto. I wouldn't be able to actually control magnets with my big brain. So I don't think I would want this upgrade.
But there would be so many disadvantages. Like, how would you get an MRI done? Have you seen how strong their magnets are?
True.
So we need to scan you for cancer.
No.
Sir?
Nope. Sorry.
Or even worse, it just rips out of your skin. You couldn't get past airport security either. But at least you
True.
can pick up paper clips with your finger. But your implant would demagnetize over time, so eventually you're just left with a piece of trash. And a demagnetized magnet.
I actually did not know that magnets lose power over time. So I guess I did learn something today.
Looks good on you though. Just don't get too close to that machine.
Oh, and he's dead.
Neil Harbison was born with a rare form of complete colorblindness, and at the age of 22, he turned into the world's first Pikmin.
Say what now?
He has a cyborg antenna implanted into his skull, with a camera on one end and a sound vibration implant on the other. Now, he can hear colors through audible vibrations based on what the camera is.
Did he just say that he could hear colors? Okay, that's kind of cool, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, I feel like that's completely different than like how most people see color. Obviously, we could see that red is red, orange is orange, yellow is yellow. But for somebody that's colorblind, it kind of just all looks very gray and there's no actual like sensation of color. But at the same time, that's not the worst thing in the world. But this person decided that they would hack into their brain and they could understand color through vibrations. Which is kind of strange. It kind of reminds me of like Toph from Avatar: The Last Airbender, who can feel the vibrations in the ground, but instead of feeling people, she could just feel the colors. I guess that's a superpower? That's a really weird X-Men superpower. Like imagine you were at X-Men University and somebody was like, I can hear the colors. I feel like they would just lock you up in prison.
Seeing. The cool part is that he can see infrared and ultraviolet light too.
That is kind of neat.
Sunscreen kind of day. But turns out having your brain constantly vibrating isn't fun. Make it stop, please. But the human brain is plastic. Not literally made of plastic, but able to adapt and learn. So even though there was this new sense forcing its way in, Neil's brain eventually accepted it.
And then
Just
it
like
worked?
How our brains aren't overwhelmed by our eyes constantly seeing and our ears constantly hearing.
That is true. I'm sure you guys already heard this fun fact that your eyes actually filter out your nose. Because if you really focus, you could see your nose. And technically your eyes can see your nose pretty much 24/7, but your brain blocks it out because it's not useful.
I'll give you this antenna. Doesn't really do anything, but it's cute.
Thanks,
Cyborg
doggo.
Sense Speed Round. North Sense is a little chest implant that jiggles every time you face north. Centero is a proximity sensor that jiggles when you're next to another Centero user. Seismic Sense is an implant that jiggles when the Earth jiggles. These cyborgs sure do a lot of jiggling, don't they? I guess we should sort that out now, huh?
Guys, I want you to comment down below right now if any of these superpower cybernetic upgrades would be something that you would want to get in the future. Currently, right now, I don't think I want any of these.
Telepathic communication.
Oh, wait, I want this one.
Humans communicate like this.
Pretty much, yeah, that's what my brother
Imagine
sounds
if you
like.
could talk like this instead. Well, to do this, you need to read information from
He
one
got
brain
roasted.
and write it to other brains or computers. Neuralink is already working on this with their brain-computer implant, and they've recently completed their first human trial. The patient was paralyzed from the shoulders down after an accident, and
You see, that's where a lot of these cyborg upgrades make a lot of sense to me. For somebody that maybe has lost their senses or somebody that was born without one of their senses, like somebody that was born blind or deaf or that can't use, some or all of their limbs, having some sort of cyborg upgrade that can reconnect to parts of your brain or your body that aren't working like they should be, that part's cool. That is epic to give basically somebody that doesn't have what me and you have, or at least I'm assuming that you have access to these senses. If somebody that doesn't have it could then get access to them, that would basically be like a superpower for them because their entire life would be changed. Whereas the stuff that we usually do on a day-to-day basis is kind of just normal to us. When in reality, if you take it away, it turns into a superpower, which is kind of neat.
now he can use his mind to play RuneScape. The
Epic.
chip has a bunch of electrode threads which can read different signals from your brain. Their software then maps these signals to cursor movements on a screen. And you could use this technology to map a brain to any computer interface, like a Jaeger. With this implant, you can now control this Roomba. Here you go, buddy.
Awesome. Vacuum time. Yes.
Right now, brain-to-brain communication is pretty difficult, because seizures. But a simpler option would be to read a message.
Kind of curious, how did they learn that? Did somebody get a seizure?
from one brain and use a computer to transmit it to an ear implant. You could basically have your own private radio channels in your head. Reading information from brains could be a bit scary, though. I don't want people to know my intrusive thoughts. Neil the Pikmin...
I know this isn't exactly what we're talking about here, but it would be so cool if there was some sort of like Neuralink brain device that you could wear, you know, pretty much 24/7, but ideally you could wear it only at night when you're dreaming, and then it would be able to like show you a movie of what you dreamed about, and that would actually be kind of scary because sometimes I have nightmares, but that would be kind of cool. And I think I would use that. But also, too, I don't think I would show anybody what I dreamed of. But it would be cool to see.
His jiggly cyborg buddy achieved a different form of cyborg communication with Bluetooth. And I mean a literal Bluetooth. When they were in close range, they could communicate in Morse code by tapping their teeth. What happens when they're eating, though?
Imagine you go up to somebody and, like, literally there's just two people and they're just like this. Not saying any words whatsoever. They're just... I don't know if that's a superpower. That's kind of weird.
How could you say that? Anyways, that's communication sorted. Wait, where'd he go?
Oh, he's trying to vacuum.
I guess it's time to get you some real legs now. Bionic limbs. At the age of 17, rock climber Hugh Herr had both his legs amputated.
Oh no.
Doctors told him he would never climb again. But instead of giving up, he turned his clunky prosthetic legs into ones that could outperform real human limbs. Spiked feet for climbing vertical ice walls.
Okay, that's just awesome.
For reaching far footholds. And narrow-tipped feet that could slip into cracks way too thin for regular feet. His legs also didn't get tired while climbing anymore. Because he didn't have any. Now, he finds himself as the director of biomechatronics at MIT.
Okay, that is like the coolest origin story I have ever heard of. This guy literally lost both of his legs, and instead of being like, you know, I guess I'll just use the normal prosthetic legs, he decided that he was going to turn into Iron Man, pretty much. He turned into Tony Stark and then started developing even better legs. This guy is the best. He is literally the best person ever.
Where he designed special brain-controlled bionic legs.
Now that's cool.
Constantly adjust the stiffness of his joints to mimic how humans naturally walk. Like, look at how smoothly he moves. He hopes to end disability in humans one day, but there's a few major problems to solve first. One is that it's really hard to interface with human skin. It's hairy, oily, sweaty, and it chafes and cuts easily.
That is true. I have watched a few videos about like bionic limbs, and supposedly it is very difficult to get your body to accept the new robot piece that you want to be accepted by the body. So for example, like prosthetic arms or prosthetic legs or prosthetic anything really, even like fingers, it's like practically impossible to link everything together with your actual like muscles and tendons and like the little microscopic connections that happen. It's so difficult to get your body to accept a robot, since most of your body like doesn't want anything that's foreign in your body, which, sounds weird, but that's just how it is. Your body's like, ooh, that's not supposed to be there. And then it'll try its best to get rid of it. So it's going to be interesting in the future to see how people counteract that so that our bodies accept like pretty much robots into our internal system.
You can't just duct tape a prosthetic on and call it a day. Hugh's research is developing synthetic skin to tackle this problem. It can change its shape and stiffness under electrostatic forces. Kinda like how the glider cape from The Dark Knight turns floppy to stiff when you run a current through it. So the synthetic skin is soft and stretchy on your squishy parts and stiffer where there's solid bone surface underneath. Sounds pretty comfy. But a gross problem that's often overlooked is sweat. Since prosthetics basically surround amputated limbs like a shoe, sweat doesn't evaporate. So some sports prosthetics include drain holes.
Say what?
Interfacing option,
I never thought about that.
Integration, which involves implanting titanium directly into the bone, and then you can swap out whatever attachment you want. But the biggest problem is that bionic limbs don't really feel like they're a part of you. Humans have a sense called proprioception, which is basically your body's spatial awareness. For example, if you close your eyes, you're still able to touch the tip of your nose with your finger. The same can't be said for bionic limbs just yet. But research is currently being done to solve this, and soon you could pick any bionic limb you want, and it would feel like a part of you.
Okay, guys, comment down below what bionic limb or what bionic attachment would you want to have? I personally think that it would be so cool if I could have like Doc Ock's giant tentacle robot arms, and then you could climb anything. You could climb buildings. They could even like maybe have the ends rotate really fast, and then you could turn into a drone that flies. The possibilities are endless.
Bionic limb speed round. Jason Barnes is a drummer with a bionic arm attachment with 2 drumsticks.
Okay, that's
allowing
epic.
him to play rhythms no other human can play. Jesse Sullivan is one of the world's first cyborgs who had a bionic arm that could be controlled through nerve grafts in his chest.
That is
This dude
insanely
has a
cool.
USB in his finger.
Okay, that doesn't make any
And
sense.
as a company
That man better have like a bajillion Bitcoin on there, because if not, why would you ever do that?
called Psionic that makes prosthetic arms that can punch through things. And
Okay.
now, with a few little adjustments, all finished.
Oh,
look
yo. Oh, God.
Ah, you're welcome.
Oh, yeah, he's communicating with the Bluetooth. I think he maybe turned into a supervillain.
Hello, bug-sized man.
We
Have
are now
you ever
tiny.
Wondered what it's like to be eaten by a carnivorous plant?
Yes.
Well, let's find out. Number 5, pitcher plants.
Oh my gosh. Okay, that actually reminds me of the Pokemon, and I never really thought that this was a carnivorous plant. I thought that it was kind of like a fun-looking plant and that there was like honey on the inside, but apparently it's acid on the inside, and it looks like it's gonna melt down anything that goes inside of it. Poor little guy.
The pitcher plant gets its name from its pitcher-shaped leaves, and it uses these as deadly traps. Picture this. First, your insect brain is lured in by the sweet scent of nectar.
Oh, okay, so there is nectar on the
Once
inside.
you reach the top, you start slurping to your heart's content.
Oh,
but
no.
What you don't realize is the surface you're standing on has a waxy coating, making it extremely slippery. You take one step too close to the edge,
No.
you've fallen into the pitcher plant's
And I'm pretty sure that the inside of the plant is also covered in this waxy coating, so there's no way for a bug that usually can like climb surfaces. I don't think it can climb its way out, and it can't fly because now it fell into this liquid and its wings are all covered in it. So it's pretty much trapped.
digestive fluids. The walls are covered in wax too, making it impossible to climb out, and you slowly realize that there's no escape. As your arms grow tired, you begin to drown, and the plant starts digesting you alive.
That's so sad.
Do this, pitcher plant.
Well, that's a great question.
that poor
Pitcher
little
plants
guy.
and most other carnivorous plant species live in environments that provide insufficient nutrients, so they've adapted to get the essentials like nitrogen, phosphorus, and magnesium from your flesh instead.
I mean, as horrific as that sounds, that actually is super impressive. That, you know, most of the time you would think that a plant would get every piece of, you know, resource that it needs from either the sun or the soil, but these plants decided no, they're going to be quirky, they're going to be different, and yeah, they're going to eat things. They're going to eat things in order to survive, just like we do.
Please.
Their diet mostly consists of bugs, but some pitchers are large enough to eat frogs and rats too.
A rat?
So
It can
many
eat a
different
rat?
shapes and sizes.
See, look, it is a
This one
Pokemon.
Remind you of something?
I was going to say a
Toilet.
teacup,
The
but
lid
yeah, it is a
secretes
toilet.
An abundance of nectar that attracts small
Ew.
mammals like the tree shrew. And while it eats the nectar, the toilet bowl catches any post-lunch dumps. That's right, this pitcher plant.
Wait, so you're telling me that the rodent comes along, licks the side of the toilet, and then actually poops in the toilet, which gives nutrients to the plant? The plant is a poop eater.
Eats poop. A wholesome symbiotic relationship.
All right. Yeah, it doesn't hurt anybody, I guess.
My favorite pitcher plant species has got to be the cobra lily, and this is how it would eat you. You're lured in by the scent of nectar again, this time coming from a leaf shaped like the forked tongue of a cobra. The concentration of nectar increases as you move further up, the plant's sneaky invitation to get you to climb inside, and eventually you end up inside a beautiful dome with light pouring in through many holes.
It looks amazing.
Nectar, you decide to leave, and there's so many exits to choose from. How convenient. But it's not an exit.
What is it?
Window. You try another one.
Oh no.
Strange. Oh well, you'll just leave the way you came in.
I don't think that's gonna work.
Which one was the entrance? Confusion set.
Is that actually how it works, dude? It's literally like the back rooms. You go in, you think that you found an exit, and it's actually just a wall. And then you can't figure out where you came in. That is horrifying.
Then as all the exits you see turn out to be fakes. You don't notice, but this whole time you've been moving deeper and deeper inside the plant. Until... Now, unlike other pitcher plants, the cobra lily doesn't digest you with enzymes.
Say what now?
Gross midge larvae and bacteria start eating you alive, breaking you down into nutrient soup for the cobra lily to slurp up.
Are you serious?
Now, if you don't want to be eaten by my pet plant, you should boop the like button.
It really helps me out a lot.
Is that what Petey the piranha plant is? I kind of thought that Petey the piranha plant was, like a piranha plant, and not... Not what we just saw, which kind of did look like a snake, which is pretty incredible. But yeah, I honestly, too, I only really thought that there was one carnivorous plant, and that is the Venus flytrap. When I was younger, I really wanted one as like a pet, because I thought it was so cool how like a plant could eat something like a fly. Like, it just doesn't makes sense to me. Most plants you think like, oh, it's not going to do anything that bad. Maybe I'll get like poison ivy, but it's not going to try to eat me. Meanwhile, the Venus flytrap is like, ooh, I'm going to try to eat you.
Pitcher plants are just the first on this list, and there's 4 more leafy assassins to go. Number 4, bladderwort.
I don't like the sound of that at all.
Bladderworts grow in freshwater and wet soil environments. And on
the
surface,
they have flowers.
They have cute little flowers. But
lovely
is where the cold-blooded murder happens. One nice sunny day, you're swimming along, living your best life. And then in the blink of an eye, you're suffocating.
What just happened? How did that just happen? What just happened?
In the bladderwort's trap.
Seriously?
The plant's underwater stems are these structures called bladders. But instead of holding pee, they act as trapdoors.
Oh.
First, water is expelled, creating negative pressure inside, and the trap is set. When you...
okay, so that makes sense. So when it expels the water, it's basically creating a little suction tube, so when it opens up, the water will flood in, and then it will trap you inside, and then it probably closes real quick, and then you're trapped, and then you probably slowly get digested.
Came swimming along, you brushed past one of the bladder's trigger hairs,
no,
breaking the trapdoor seal.
You're dead.
This created a vacuum, sucking you in within milliseconds. The bladderwort's diet consists of nematodes, fish fry, and mosquito larvae, but it can eat larger things like tadpoles too.
Oh my gosh!
By digesting you in stages. First, it dissolves your head into
mush,
then your body,
that's
and
not
your legs,
too bad.
Until you've been completely turned into nutrient soup.
Lovely. Thanks,
Number
plants.
3, sticky leaf plant.
What the? Yo! Please tell me that's not how it actually happens.
The glistening drops of nectar covering their long, tendril-like leaves. But
I mean, it looks beautiful, it looks gorgeous, but it's deadly, dude. I swear, like, the most gorgeous things in nature are always the most deadly. I remember when I was younger, I wanted to, like, pick up the dart frogs, but secretly the dart frogs are poisonous dart frogs, and that's when I learned that the more bright and colorful an animal or a plant is, usually the more deadly it is.
Despite their beauty, these drops have a deadly function. The nectar is laced with a powerful glue, and as soon as you touch it, it's a wrap.
And you're prisoned.
The plant senses your struggle, so it starts constricting its tentacles inwards, bringing you into contact with as much stickiness as possible. The secretions coat your whole body, immobilizing your limbs and clogging your breathing holes, causing you to suffocate in a matter of minutes.
It literally
this whole time, the sun dew has been secreting,
grabs you, twists you up, and then suffocates you like a snake would. That is the most impressive plant I've ever seen.
Digestive enzymes as well, slowly dissolving you until only a skeleton is left behind. Compared to some of the other plants though, being hugged to death actually sounds like a nice way to go. Another sticky leaf species is the butterwort, named after the buttery texture of its leaves. Works in pretty much the same way as the sundew, except its leaves are broad and flat, so there's more surface area for killing and eating.
Oh my gosh!
All carnivorous sticky leaf plants do the digesting.
I wonder if like people found these in nature and realized that this would make for like a great bug trap, because I mean there's a bunch of different bug traps. There's like the zapper trap, but a lot of the bug traps are like thin slices of paper that are super sticky. So as soon as a bug lands, it gets trapped there and then it can't leave, so it eventually just dies. I wonder if people found these plants, saw a bunch of dead bugs, and they were like, huh, well, let's just do that.
Rhododendron macrocephalum has
The
a
what?
mutualistic relationship with the mirrored bug. The plant does the trapping, and the mirrored bug stabs you with its face. And then it sucks out your nutrient soup, turning it into nutrient poop for the phytoabsorb. But
cool.
something isn't adding up here. How does a plant that's highly adapted to catching bugs not catch this bug?
That's what I was
The
thinking.
mirrored bug has an extremely thick coating of grease, completely protecting it from the sticky clutches of the plant.
So it's literally just a
Number two,
greased up bug.
corkscrew plants.
Free cookies. Nope. Nice try.
So one day you're rolling around in the dirt. when
Of
you
course.
stumble
Just another
upon a
Tuesday for me.
tunnel. Where does it go? Is there treasure at the end?
No.
You've just arrived at the opening to one of the corkscrew plant's many corkscrew-shaped leaves. As you travel through the spiraling tunnel, you brush past these strange pointed hairs. They're arranged in a way that makes moving into the tunnel very easy, but moving out, almost
Oh,
impossible.
no.
Your only option now is to go deeper into the cave. And after what
I mean, this sounds like the premise of a horror movie. Imagine, like, you're just going about your day, and then you find this super cool looking tunnel that says treasure at the end, and you're thinking to yourself, huh, I probably shouldn't go in, but if I go in, at least, you know, I could get out if something goes wrong. But then you go in, and then you realize you're actually trapped there, and you got to go further and further in, and you know it's going to be bad, and you know that there's not treasure, but you keep going because where else are you going to go?
feels like ages, you finally reach a nice chamber filled with digestive fluids. And
Oh.
painful.
Oh, you literally
The
jump in
corkscrew
yourself.
diet consists of protozoans, mites, and annelids. And because of the sheer number of them hanging around in the dirt, the plant doesn't need to attract them. It just sits there and watches as the critters walk themselves into its stomach.
It's like whales in the ocean. All they have to do is just open their mouth, and then, you know, they're so big, they're bound to catch something.
Number 1, snap traps.
Yes, these are the ones that I like.
I bet you've all been waiting for this one. When
Yes.
you think of a carnivorous plant, the first thing that springs to your mind is the Venus flytrap. But contrary to their name, these plants don't actually eat that many flies. Their diet consists of roughly 1/3 ants, 1/3 spiders, and 1/3 miscellaneous critters.
Snails?
Only 5% are flying insects.
So how did it get its
Adaptations
name?
make the Venus flytrap an effective killer. First, the leaves' bright red color and sweet nectar smell tricks you into thinking you spotted a delicious
Why does it look like a
fruit.
big butt?
Second are these tiny sensory hairs all over its leaves. Nothing happens if you only touch a hair once, but if you touch it twice,
Dead.
as each trap can only operate 7-ish times before dying, this
What?
adaptation prevents wasting a snap on something like a raindrop or a fallen leaf. Third,
Okay.
each trap has these long lashes, which look like menacing teeth. Venus flytraps are quite picky with their food, as starting the digestive process takes a lot of energy, so smaller, unworthy prey can escape through the gaps in the lashes. I'm free. But bigger prey like you are trapped inside. Fourth,
Oh,
to make
great.
doubly sure that it's caught a big juicy meal, the plant waits until the sensory hairs are repeatedly triggered while closed, before it finally gets ready for dinner time. The trap clamps down even tighter,
What?
interlocking its lashes and forming an airtight seal.
I mean, that's scary, but it's also kind of awesome that a plant can do that. That's something that you think of like a lion doing or like a bear, like shutting its mouth and then holding its prey there. You never think that a plant could do that.
Slowly die of suffocation. And the plant secretes digestive enzymes, dissolving you over the course of a few days. When it finally opens up, all that's left of you is a skeleton. Extra limbs.
Oh, that's a real thing?
Is a rare birth defect in which an affected individual is born with more than the usual amount of limbs.
I did not need to see that.
In most cases, the extra limb is usually shrunken or deformed in some way and of not much use.
So you're telling me that I can't be born as 4 arms from Ben 10? That's not possible.
But one case in India showed otherwise. Deepak Paswan was a boy from India with 1 head, 4 arms, and 4 legs. The limbs were relatively fully formed and also appeared fully functional.
Okay, guys, I actually remember hearing about this, and apparently people in India actually thought that this guy was a literal god. They thought that, like, because he had these extra limbs, that he was the chosen one from one of the Indian gods, which, I mean, don't get me wrong, I might believe that too if I actually saw this person, because that's insane that somebody could be born with double the amount of limbs that they should actually have. Like, imagine having 4 legs. What would you even do? Would you be twice as fast?
Imagine the power you would wield with 4 hands. At the foosball table.
True. You could 2v1 anybody.
VR with 4 legs. In the Hindu religion, gods are often depicted with numerous limbs. So as news spread of the quote-unquote Octoboy, pilgrims soon...
Okay, I don't know if I would want that name, Octoboy. That sounds like such a weird X-Men superhero that is not that powerful. I would want to be like 4 arms sounds pretty powerful, or like Super Limbo, or 4 legs.
Traveled from all over India to worship him as an incarnation of their gods. Until scientists figure out that the extra limbs were actually from a parasitic twin that hadn't developed properly in the womb and had somehow fused with him. Turns out he also didn't actually have control over the extra limbs either. They were just kind of glitching every now and then. So to improve Deepak's quality of life, the extra limbs were cut off. And ever since, he's been able to live a relatively normal life.
Okay, that sounds horrible, guys. It started out amazing, where people were worshiping him, and he had these extra limbs, and he was super good at Dance Dance Revolution. But it turned south very quickly, and it turns out that he no longer has the extra limbs. So they took away his superpowers.
Much to the dismay of the pilgrims. Number 6. Supermemory. Hypothymestic syndrome is a condition that allows people...
Why does that sound so painful?
...to remember abnormally large numbers of life experiences.
Big brain!
Sounds like a cheat code to life, right? You'd be the world's most famous walking encyclopedia and win millions of dollars in popular trivia game shows.
That is true, guys. You would remember everything. You would remember everything from school, everything that you ever read, every random fact, every person that you ever met, which sounds like a good thing, but in reality... I don't know. It seems like it could be very, very sad as well, because you would remember not only every good thing that happened to you, but also you would remember all of the bad things. Or like, let's say you had like a really bad injury, or you went through something horrible, like losing a family member. You would remember that over and over and over again, like it just happened. And the best thing is about time is that over time, you kind of forget all of the bad things. Or at least they don't really feel like they happened that recently. But with something like this, where you remember everything like it just happened, I don't know. That could be pretty sad, and I don't know if I would want this superpower.
But in reality, hypothysiacs cannot choose what memories are permanently stored in their brains.
Oh, that's even worse.
Information like memorizing schoolwork would be treated as trivial. So
really?
Unfortunately, they won't be doing well on any tests at school.
But what do they actually remember?
What they are great at is remembering that one time they let a big one rip in the school cafeteria.
That's so sad.
Remembering these highly personal events can often be very embarrassing or traumatic. But could you imagine dating a hypothysiac? Hey babe, I'm going to the store to get some milk. Wait! Are you going to leave me like Mark did on the 3rd of January 1984?
Oh no!
Babe, no. How about like Peter did on the 8th of April 1991? No, what are you talking about? Oh, okay then.
Don't forget to buy the low-fat milk this time.
Oh yeah, sure, honey.
Unlike the time you forgot it
Oh my gosh.
September.
Wait, that would actually be horrible. Like literally living with somebody that can remember every bad thing that you've ever done to them. That would be insane because they could just tell you about it 24/7.
97 and the 13th of November 1999 and the 16th of June 2002.
Bye. See you later, butthead.
Yeah, the vast majority of hypothamesiacs find it really difficult to sustain long committed relationships, leading to a lack of social connections
What's up with the
and
poop?
loneliness. Number 5. Exoskeleton armor.
What?
Fibrodysplasia ossificans progressiva.
Okay, why do all of these superpowers have such like horrible sounding names? Fibrodysplasia ossificans progressiva. That sounds so painful. And maybe it actually is.
Also known as Stoneman syndrome, is an extremely rare genetic condition that allows some individuals to rapidly heal themselves when damaged.
Oh, so
But there's
real
a
life
catch.
Wolverine.
Imagine a person suffers a surface injury. Instead of replacing the skin tissue with more skin tissue,
Okay.
the body replaces it with bone instead. This
Wait a second. How does that even work? You're telling me that they could literally, instead of having my normal skin, that I could have bone as skin, which sounds cool at first, don't get me wrong, guys, but like that, I don't know. Like your bones are supposed to be under your skin for a reason, right? The fact that this person maybe has a bone that's replacing the skin that they lost, or like imagine just getting like a simple scratch, and then instead of your skin repairing it, you have like little bone fragments. So over time, as you get injured and then as bad things happen to you, you would eventually turn into the Thing from Fantastic Four, which does not sound very fantastic at all.
This process is called ossification. Can you imagine what would happen if you injured all your skin?
Oh.
You'd form an exoskeleton-like layer of armor made of pure bone.
I mean, it sounds
and
pretty epic.
Literally be a superhuman. But in depressing reality, this disorder is almost 100% fatal.
Oh.
The issue
Wait, but
is
why?
that the body ossifies all damaged tissue, which can make joints stiff
Oh.
and be dangerous to internal organs.
See, guys, this is what I was saying, that you have your skin for a reason and the bones are where they're at for a reason. Like the fact that we could have bones everywhere sounds really cool, but at the same time, yeah, like this guy just said, if you even have like your organs injured, they're not going to repair themselves like they should. So let's say you have like, I don't know, something hits your lung or something injures your stomach, or if you even need surgery, like you're not going to have normal tissue or skin replace that. It's going to be hard bone, which is not good.
You injure your knee, ossified.
Eee.
Can't walk.
You injure your eyelid, ossified.
Oh my god.
Any tiny injury would potentially become devastating. If you strain your voice, you could permanently lose it.
Oh my
If
gosh.
you damage your airways, bony growth would restrict your breathing.
So if you have this, you basically have to live your entire life like in a box where you can't get hurt. Nothing bad can happen to you. You got to make sure that you don't cough too hard or that you like slip and fall and hurt yourself, because if you do, even the smallest little thing could cause this ossification that he's talking about, and then you don't know how that's going to affect your entire system.
Even if you don't injure yourself, your body is constantly breaking down and repairing itself.
Oh, yeah,
so
true.
You're basically doomed. You'd be slowly and inevitably turning into a bone statue.
That doesn't sound like a
But
superpower.
The absolute worst part is there's almost no way this can be medically solved at the moment.
Wow.
As surgical removal of ossified tissue causes the body to repair the area with additional bone.
That is crazy.
Leading to a fatal catch-22.
I'm just curious as to why the body would do that, right? Like, why would why would your body system try to replace like what is injured with bone? It just doesn't seem to make any sense.
It's a disorder that could in theory be an awesome superpower, but in reality, it's
No good.
much more like a living nightmare.
Sad
Number
thing.
4, impervious to pain.
Ooh, guys, we checked this out in a previous episode, and I think a lot of you guys were commenting that this might be one of like the weirdest and worst superpowers, because on the surface, it sounds great. Like that I won't feel pain ever. Obviously, nobody likes to feel pain, but pain is actually super useful just for daily events. You make sure that you don't touch something that's hot because then you pull away from it because it hurt. Or if like something's sharp, you know, ooh, I probably shouldn't touch that. And it's your body's way of letting you know that that is like a dangerous thing that could potentially kill you or seriously harm you. So pain, even though it kind of sucks, is kind of a good thing.
Congenital insensitivity to pain, or CIP, is a rare condition where an individual cannot feel pain.
Oh!
Dude, are you okay? Huh? What do you mean? An estimated 1 in every 25,000 people are diagnosed with this condition, and in most cases,
that's a lot.
The person has actually never experienced pain before. This condition is caused by a mutation to the PRDM12 gene, which is important for the development of pain-sensing nerve cells.
I'm actually kind of curious too. So he just said it's pain-sensing nerve cells, but does that mean that like, I don't know, do you feel things differently? Like, do you feel like, you know, somebody touching your arm? Would that be different? Because, you know, that's not painful. But at the same time, like if you can't feel pain, are there other things that you can't feel as well? Which if that's the case, that would also kind of stink.
Affected individuals have been recorded to register touch, but the pain circuitry is completely cut off.
Oh, okay. So that answers my question.
CIP individuals are still susceptible to emotional pain. Physical and emotional pain are both processed by the same part of your brain, so this was surprising to me. But it's more of an issue with the physical sensory input as opposed to pain processing in the brain. This would be a pretty neat power to have for a super soldier though. Someone you could just throw into the middle of the battlefield who doesn't care if they get shot. There's actually a village in northern Sweden called Vittangi, where there's an abnormally high frequency of individuals with CIP. We might need to watch out for them in the near future.
Okay, that kind of makes sense to me. Somebody that doesn't really feel pain, or maybe some people also have like a mild form of CIP where they don't feel pain as badly as other people, so they would make really good super soldiers.
In reality, this condition is extremely dangerous to the affected individual because pain is vital for survival. Individuals with CIP often die during childhood because fatal injuries just go unnoticed. It is tragically very common for people to burn to death without even knowing.
Wow. Okay, that part is insane. The fact that a young kid might not realize that they are on fire or that fire is even bad. So out of everything that we've seen today, that is probably the worst.
The 3. Indestructible bones.
Okay, this one I could get behind.
Trichodento-osseous syndrome is a rare condition affecting no more than a couple thousand people worldwide. It leads to people having bones that are so dense that they've been known to break baseball bats and even withstand car crashes.
Okay, but how?
A mutation in the DLX3 gene causes bone density in the affected individual to increase significantly. It reminds me a lot of Wolverine's skeleton.
Oh yeah, Wolverine has like the adamantium armor that they inputted into his already super powered body.
If you combine this disorder with the regeneration from Stoneman syndrome, minus the ossification and increased likelihood of death, you're basically Wolverine.
Yeah, pretty much.
However, there are several major drawbacks. These individuals are cursed with having extremely weak teeth that break easily and painfully.
Like, that doesn't make any sense to me because your teeth are, I don't know, it seems like your teeth are very similar to your bones. So why would your teeth be not as strong when your bones are like basically titanium steel? That doesn't make any sense.
End up falling out completely in some cases.
What?
They have brittle nails and dry, curly, and flaky hair as well.
Okay, so whatever this mutation is, it's affecting the keratin in your body because that's what your nails are made of, that's what your teeth are made out of, and I believe that's also what your hair is made out of, which is kind of crazy that your fingernails and your hair are made out of the same stuff.
Research into TDO is prevalent right now, as it may hold the key to curing osteoporosis, which is the gradual weakening of skeletal structures many people develop in their old age. This would make a huge difference in improving their quality of life, as breaking bones from bad falls is incredibly common for elderly and in many cases life-threatening.
Oh, R.I.P.
Number 2, super strength.
This is an actual disorder?
Myostatin-related muscle hypertrophy is a rare condition that literally gives you super strength.
I thought he was going to talk about gigantism, which is the disorder where people literally do not stop growing. And the bigger you are, usually the stronger you also are.
Affected individuals have over twice the usual muscle mass of an average human, and they also have increased muscular strength, all without going to the gym or lifting weights to maintain.
It's Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Up and just being jacked.
I'm
this
in.
Condition
Sign
is
me up.
caused by a mutation in the MSTN gene, which is usually responsible for limiting muscle growth to prevent us from growing too large. But in these super strength individuals, it doesn't work as a limiter. A real-life case of this is Liam Hoekstra from the United States. Doctors recorded that he had prominent muscle development in his legs as an infant. Like, bro came out of the womb jacked. Yeah, he never skipped leg day in there. Bro could do a pull-up at 8 months old, had a six-pack when he was just 3 years old, and could lift 3-kilogram dumbbells with his arms fully extended at just 3 years old as well.
Okay, guys, I mean, right now, this sounds incredibly cool, but I'm just waiting for the drawback. There has to be something bad about this.
Well, do you understand how crazy that is? Bro probably only weighed 3 kgs at the time. To add icing on the cake, there are no known medical complications to this condition.
What?
All those benefits and not a single drawback has been
Are you kidding me?
That is just plain unfair.
Okay, that is the definition of a superpower. Everything else in this video, kinda super lame because there's bad stuff that happens. Meanwhile, this 3-month-old baby is doing backflips and push-ups like it's nothing.
And that's why it gets the number 2 spot on this list. Number 1, fearlessness.
That's a thing? There's people that don't have fear?
Cernick is a man from the UK who was diagnosed with Cushing's syndrome,
What?
where his body produced too much cortisol, which caused him to have severe, life-threatening weight gain and high blood pressure.
Okay, this sounds really bad.
After numerous brain surgeries and complications, in a final surgical operation, his adrenal glands were removed from his body.
Okay.
This gruesome operation required removing one of his ribs,
Oh.
and it was extremely painful. Thankfully, his Cushing's syndrome was cured as a result, but it came with a price.
So I'm pretty sure the adrenal gland is what gives you adrenaline, which is caused usually by something that is scary, something that like needs to get your body going so that you can get away from whatever the scary situation is.
When Geordie woke up in the hospital bed, he was on life support. He had numerous tubes coming out of him, and the doctors solemnly told him that there had been complications.
About that.
He had developed pneumonia and then meningitis, which is a potentially fatal infection of the brain. But surprisingly, upon receiving the bad news, Geordie had no response. He didn't feel anything. Among the many functions of the adrenal glands, one of them is influencing your body's stress response, also known as fight or flight, namely through the hormone adrenaline. Turns out, due to the removal of his adrenal glands, the part of Geordie's brain that controlled fear had been turned off. So now, he lives a life of 0 fear. Can you imagine that? Not feeling the nervous pit in your stomach before an important test? Or not feeling shy and flustered when asking a girl out?
Well, honestly, guys, okay, me thinking about this right now, fear is one thing, right? But having confidence is a different thing. So it seems like he's kind of in the middle, where I guess maybe he could be confident, but like, it seems like he might just be neutral 24/7. Like, he's not scared, but he's also not like super excited anymore because he can't have the adrenaline in his body. So it kind of seems good, but also kind of bad.
Having a second thought when taking a risk? You'd be an absolute Giga Chad, especially when cases of anxiety and paranoia are increasing in our society right now.
That is true.
Fearlessness would drastically change the course of your life. But just like many of the other disorders on this list, there's a catch. Fear is a fundamental survival instinct.
That is true.
The absence of it could be very dangerous.
This is kind of like the people from earlier that can't feel pain. Pain is something that over time we've gotten because it keeps us alive. Same thing with fear. Fear is like, let's say you are a caveman in a cave and a bear is coming. You're gonna get scared. If you're not scared of the bear, you're dead.
But even worse than that, Geordie lost something much more important after his
ribs?
surgery. He lost the ability to feel excited for
See? That's what I was saying.
suspense.
I'm big brain.
In some cases, even joy.
Yeah, that's pretty
Took away
sad.
his ability to experience life.
The other day looking at all these cool rock formations on display. You know, there were spiky rocks and goopy
Ooh.
rocks, but when I made it all the way to the bottom, what I saw didn't make any sense.
What was it?
It was a rock, but it was like someone had created perfectly machined metallic cubes and fused them into it.
Is it
Now,
tungsten?
This is strange, because this was supposed to be a natural formations display, and
Wait,
these
how?
were obviously human-made. Am I the only one who thinks that? Like, am I dumb?
No, you're not dumb.
But turns out it
Maybe a little.
wasn't fake. So naturally, my next question was,
What sorcery is this?
possibly perfect-shaped rocks. The cubes are called pyrite, and despite looking like a metal, it's actually a crystal. And
What?
in a specific mine in
Huh?
Spain, you can literally pull these perfect shiny cubes right out of the cave wall.
I want to know the science
But
behind
how
it.
did these form in the first place? Well, if you zoom in, you'll see that pyrite is made of the elements iron and sulfur. Initially, they float around as
I really like how in the animation he's like zooming in and showing exactly what it's made of, and we're also getting a lot of facts about the rocks, because I honestly don't really know much about rocks. Even though I look like a guy that might know something about rocks, I don't really know too much about rocks other than the fact that tungsten is the heaviest rock metal. That's all I really know.
ions in hot water underground, and as the fluid cools, opposite charges attract and they begin to crystallize.
Oh, cool.
In crystals, atoms like to arrange themselves in a lattice, which is a repeating arrangement that keeps the crystal stable. The
That makes
simplest
sense.
repeating pattern in a lattice is called the unit cell, and it just so happens that the unit cell for pyrite is a perfect cube.
That's so cool.
Complicated like this, so let's just stuff it all into a box. And
Yeah,
think of
turn
it
it into
as
a cube.
Cube-shaped Lego brick. In the
It's a
right
building
environmental
block.
conditions, these Lego bricks build up evenly, layer by layer, resulting in a fake-looking cube. And sometimes you can even get multiple pyrite cubes growing in each other, leading to all sorts of cool designs.
So I still can't get it through my brain that forms naturally in nature. Like you would think that somebody got a bunch of metals together, they got big equipment, big power tools, and then they started sawing and then sanding these different rocks to look like a bunch of cubes, and then this would be sold in an art museum for like $1 million. But no, this was created by Mother Nature. That's pretty cool.
But a cubic unit cell doesn't necessarily mean you'll get a cubic crystal, like in the
Why
case
not?
of garnet, where different environmental conditions make it form perfect dodecahedrons instead. And
What?
crystals aren't even rare in nature. Like if you look really closely, table salt is cubic.
But table salt is
I'm
cubic?
convinced that you're real now. Wait a minute. If this crazy looking rock was right under my nose the whole time, what else are you hiding?
More rocks, more rocks, more rocks.
Musical rocks.
Wait, oh, I actually do know something about musical rocks because there's this park called like Rock Park or something like that, where if you it's called Boulder Rock Park, where if you throw a boulder, there's so many boulders that it actually will make like a really high-pitched musical sound. And because there's so many rocks, it will kind of like scatter the rocks. So there'll be just one rock that'll kind of like ping pong around and it'll make like really high pitched sounds. It's really cool. So maybe that's what he's talking about.
In some special areas of the world, there are fields of rocks that can sing.
Yes, this is what I'm talking about.
Rocks, and when
Ringing
you strike
rocks.
them with a hammer, they ring out like a bell. Using these, ancient civilizations would make an instrument called a lithophone, which is basically a rock xylophone.
The OG original
There's
xylophone.
some debate about why these rocks actually ring. One informal study from the 1960s cut up both a ringing rock and a normal
Okay.
rock. And after measuring the initial dimensions, they waited a bit
Uh-huh.
measured them again.
And
The normal
why?
rock, well, stayed normie. There was no change in size, but the
Sorry,
ringing
normal rock.
actually expanded a little. Indicating
what?
that there were some internal stresses that were released after the rock was cut. And
Interesting.
The theory is that these internal stresses are what causes the rocks to ring. It's also been found that rocks with higher internal stresses ring at higher frequencies. So maybe if you want a
So wait, what are the internal stressors inside of rocks? Rocks don't really do anything. So I'm guessing that like whatever is the chemical makeup of the rock, it has a bunch of maybe potential energy, like more so than normal rocks. So it wants to expand or something like that, because it seems like the rocks are made out of the same exact thing, but something inside of them chemically is just slightly different. And the more of that difference is the sounds that it'll make. It'll be higher pitch or lower pitched. My brain kind of hurts.
Higher note, you need to stress out the rock more. But unfortunately, people kind of suck, and most of the smaller ringing rocks from these rare areas have been stolen.
Of course they have.
Even worse, there's only boulder-sized ringing rocks.
Oh yeah, this is the park that I was talking about that I've been to before.
But this hasn't stopped people from taking chunks of them home as souvenirs.
Come on, guys.
The part is, breaking these rocks releases the stresses inside them.
Then they don't make sound.
Lose their musical ability permanently.
That's like going to an opera and then you rip out the esophagus of the singer. You can't do that. It takes away their musical ability.
You gotta take care of the earth, people. Like, treat it nicely.
Yeah, keep music rocks as music rocks. Thank you for what?
Under visible light, some rocks appear normal, but under ultraviolet light,
yes,
they glow.
That looks awesome.
Glowing rocks have special atoms in them called activators, and when UV light shines on one, the energy excites an electron, causing it to jump to a higher energy level temporarily. But after a fraction of a second, the electron loses its energy and falls back down to its original energy level. As
Dang
it
it.
does, it releases the extra energy as a photon of visible light. And the millions and billions of these activator atoms all releasing photons at the exact same time, your eyeball perceives this as a glowing rock.
I don't know about you guys, but I feel like most dumb doggo videos are really informative, even though, like, you know, it's really silly animations. They should be showing this in schools across the entire world, because at the same time, I'm like, wow, this is a nice animation. This is super entertaining. Also, I am learning things. I am learning stuff about rocks that I never would have willingly, because I don't like to read. I like to watch funny YouTube videos.
This property is called fluorescence, and I have a really hard time spelling the last half of that word.
Fluorescence.
Depends on the chemical element of the activator atom. For example,
whoa,
these activators cause red glows like in calcite, uranium activators cause green glows like in audenite, and
I think most people knew that.
Cause blue glows like in scheelite. But
whoa,
rocks lose their glow when the UV light is turned off. But there are some rocks that keep glowing without it.
Wait, really?
Phosphorescence, and it works in a similar way to fluorescence, but instead of the excited electron falling back down quickly, it gets stuck at the higher level.
Oh no.
Something called a forbidden transition, which sounds quite ominous, but basically due to quantum rules, the electron
okay, Einstein.
Energy longer and releases it slowly over time. So you get a sustained, continual glow until the electron eventually drops down to its original energy level.
I wonder if this is the same chemicals that they use to make glow-in-the-dark things, like glow-in-the-dark shirts, glow-in-the-dark wristbands. I remember when I was growing up, I had like glow-in-the-dark stickers that if you shine them at the light for a long period of time, then they would absorb the light. But maybe it's the chemical that he's talking about, the one that kind of like gets stuck in the outermost position, and then it like slowly will lose its light over time. But since you left it in the light, like it gets stuck in that position and then slowly goes away after, you know, like a few hours, I remember. So maybe it's the same exact chemicals that they just took from these different minerals and different rocks, and then they put them in like your glow bands and your glow stickers and your glow tattoos and stuff.
This is what's used in glow-in-the-dark stickers.
Literally, 2 seconds later.
Died over time. But did you know that you can recharge them if you use a blacklight torch?
Yes.
And it doesn't stop here. Glowing rock speed round. Thermoluminescence
more rocks.
Causes rocks to glow when you heat them up.
What?
Although most objects will eventually glow if you heat them up enough.
Well, yeah, that's true, like flamethrower.
Causes rocks to produce light when they're scratched or crushed. Like
I don't like that.
which produce a small flash of blue light when you smash them.
What? Really?
Electroluminescence causes rocks to glow when you electrocute them. And radio
That one makes sense.
causes rocks to glow when
I love how all of these different like scientifical names. Also, this is just not even spelled remotely correctly. But yeah, I love that all of these like scientific names are very self-explanatory. Like the last one was the electroluminescence, where obviously if you electrify it, it's going to glow up. This one, if you, I'm guessing, if you put it close to some sort of radioactive material or blast it with radioactive material, boom, it's gonna glow.
they're bombarded by radioactive decay. So rocks can form perfect cool shapes, they can sing, they can glow. What else can they do?
I don't know, maybe magnets?
Magnetic rocks. I like to put myself in the shoes of early humans coming across crazy phenomena in the world. Like, what would it be like to see lightning for the first time? Or
You would start praying to a god.
Or find out that these mystical rocks want to do this.
They love each other.
There are stories of ancient people thinking that magnetic rocks had some sort of life force or soul, which allowed them to attract other objects.
It makes sense when you think about it, because imagine you are a simple caveman back in like 2000 BC, and you're just in a jungle, and boom, you find these two rocks that if you put them near each other, they start coming together. Like anything that moves in nature, you're probably thinking like, oh, maybe there's some sort of life force behind it, or there's some sort of godly nature thing controlling it, which is why there were so many gods back in the day, because all of these people, they didn't understand what they were looking at. They didn't have science, so they would just pray to anything. They would pray for rain. They would pray for lightning. They would probably pray that these rocks would separate each other because they were stuck together because they're magnets.
We now know it's a type of iron ore called magnetite. Usually it's
Pokemon.
just attracted to other magnets and doesn't do any of the attracting by itself. In very rare cases though, the ore is permanently magnetized and doing the attracting.
That's pretty cool.
So how did this random rock become a magnet naturally? Well, for a magnet to be magnetized, it needs to be exposed to a strong magnetic field. And the Earth has a magnetic field, but it's way too weak to create a strong magnet. So instead, the theory is when magnetite is just chilling, minding its own business, it gets struck by lightning.
Lightning! Of course, there needs to be some sort of force.
The lightning strike permanently magnetized the iron ore, creating something called a lodestone. This
Giga magnet.
That's why lodestones are quite rare and only occur near the surface. This lightning theory was also supported by a NASA dude's experiments, where he shocked some magnetite in a lab and officially created.
No! Poor rocks!
I'm like, what can't rocks do? Like, next you're gonna tell me that some rocks are alive or something. Why are you silent? Living
Coral? Is that what we're talking about? Like in the ocean?
Around a small town in Romania called Castesti are a bunch of lumpy-looking rocks called trovins. They might look innocent and
Trubbish?
unassuming, but if you've lived in this town for long enough, you'd know that there's something fishy about them.
What do they do? Whoa, 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 whoa,
All
whoa.
different shapes and sizes. Some are tiny, some weigh several tons, and some are super duper lumpy.
That do be lumpy.
The word trovin translates to growing stone, and they've been recorded to increase in size.
I feel like I've seen stuff like this in a lot of TV shows and movies. It kind of reminds me of from Avatar: The Last Airbender, when Sokka and Katara, they get trapped in these like big stone-like things that will slowly grow over time. And that turned out to just be rock candy that just grows over time. But that's kind of similar to what we're talking about. Rocks that actually grow in size, which would kind of make you think that maybe they're living.
Especially after it rains. And their strange behavior has become a part of local myths, with them being thought of as dragon eggs. But when scientists cut one sample open, they didn't discover a dragon, but actually a bunch of ring layers instead, sort of like the growth rate of a tree. The theory
So it is growing?
Trovins are porous, meaning they have a lot of tiny holes inside them. They're able to absorb minerals from the rain.
So it's like a
Over time,
sponge.
Minerals build up inside, creating outward pressure, forcing the rock to expand.
Oh, let's go, Ditto.
Is very very, very slow, and the rocks are estimated to grow a whopping 4 centimeters every 1,000.
That kind of reminds me of stalactites. Whenever you're in a cave, if you've ever been into a cave before that has stalactites, they also technically grow over time, because when it rains, the minerals are dragged down from the surface layers and then they go to the stalactites, so they kind of bring down some minerals with them over time, and then they kind of make a little deposit right at the tip so that the thing gets longer and longer and longer until eventually it'll actually meet with the ground. Pretty cool.
Years. So basically, every time it rains, it's sort of like the Trovin's feeding time. But it doesn't end there. Sometimes the Trovins grow a bulb. And with
that part's
time,
weird.
It can break off from the parent rock, creating a mini baby Trovin.
Rock birth.
The baby Trovin can grow too. So if you want a pet rock, a Trovint is your best pick.
But that means I have to water it.
Wait. Actually, no. Leave them in Romania. Back! Not touching. I didn't really know much about rocks before this, but I had a lot of fun learning about these little goobers.